Welcome to the Foul Play YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing well today. Open mic number, I think we're 125. Give me just 1 second here. I got a little error. Hold on. I don't know what that's about. There we go. Now it's fixed. Can everybody hear me okay? Yeah, I can hear it. It's doing fine. Okay. Yep. Open mic 125. We're stepping back in time. Going way back to the beginning to November 3rd. 2005. We're going to start off with the Karen Halbach call. We're going to re-listen to several calls. I'm not going to say it's every call, whether it be, phone call. I don't think I have any radio dispatch in this batch here. I think they're all phone calls between MTSO. It's mainly MTSO and a few from Calumet, but it's around this time frame. And I selected roughly 20 calls. I suspect it's going to generate quite a bit of conversation and debate, because being able to talk, this is months later. We talked about these calls. It's not, I don't think it's been quite a year yet, but it was roughly a year ago, a little shy of that we got. I think we started getting these calls, these new, this new batch of calls that we didn't have before, that suddenly Lieutenant Todd Cummings, when he took over, he was able to find, these extra 22 CDs, DVDs, some which had never been posted, or they had been heard before. So anyway, let's let everyone say hello. Let's share in Discord, and we'll say hello to everyone in the live chat, and then we're going to get rolling here. So first up is going to be Alice.
Hello, my lovely panel, and hello to everyone in chat. It's great to see you all. And I've got a little bit of exciting news that I received this week. I am going to be a granny. My son and his lovely girlfriend are due their baby in September. So it's going to be a September baby, and it's my first grandchild as well. So I am so happy and so excited and can't wait. So I just wanted to share that news with everyone.
For you, Alice.
That's fantastic, Alice. Congratulations to you and your family.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. So, yeah, all right. Thanks for sharing that, and let's move on to Cherie. I don't recall.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Open Mic.
Cherie and Susan, how are you?
I'm good, Jack. Hello, panel. Hello, chatters. Hello, lurkers. Looking forward to it.
Just covering all your bases, right?
Yeah. Get everybody in there.
There you go. And Sister Rhonda, how are you?
Sorry, I am doing okay. Thank you for asking. Welcome to everybody on the panel and everyone in the chat. And this will be some good throwback information.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rhonda. Dr. Silkman, how are you, sir? No, but you're not addicted to the Kavanaugh trial or anything, are you?
No, I'm definitely not addicted to the Alex Murdoch trial. That's only just a vicious rumor. I'd like to welcome all the panel members. Great to see everyone here. I'd like to welcome everyone who's in chat. And we've got a couple of new people. We've got What the Beck. He's here. And I did a couple of little podcasts with Claire S. Bear on the Alex Murdoch trial, and normally What the Beck is over there as well. Welcome. It's great to see new people here. Fantastic. Really looking forward to today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doc. And speaking of live chatters, Alice, would you like to give us give the live chatters a hello and a welcome?
Yeah, I sure can. We have JD. Hello, JD. We've got Colette. Hello. We've got the lovely Dark Side. we've got Anthony D. We have Nan's Life. We have Andy B. We have Gloria. We've got Maz. We have Cher. We have Kay. Hey Kay. We've got Sheila. Hi Sheila. We also have What the Beck. Hello What the Beck. Nice to see you here. And we have the lovely Catnip. We've got Pete Moss, Cindy Arnett. Hello, nice to see you, Cindy. We have Hugh Fraser has joined us as well. Great to see you here, Fraser. Who else have we got? We've got Wardy Does. Hi, Wardy. We've got TJ Anderson. Hey, Lurker. We've got Odog 123. We've got Audrey M. And we've got Nayfolk who's joined us as well. Thank you to everyone who's joined us and welcome to Foul Play.
Appreciate that. Welcoming everybody. Yeah, we certainly do welcome everyone that wants to discuss the case. It's ever expanding and just keep going and going and going. Anyway, taking a step back. So I wanted to discuss just briefly. We're not going to talk about this much, but just a little bit. And this is for, for people that have open records requested these various, phone calls and whatever. They seem to have a real problem with electronic digital media and that kind of thing getting it. Anyway, there was a post on Reddit the other day, and it was talking about the Dolores Avery interview. And in that, somebody made mention, I can't remember exactly what the comment was, that they found, unusual, whatever, suspicious. Well, I don't disagree with that necessarily, but what I found really suspicious, and I'm going to show you here what I found weird. That's going to pop in. This is the ledger sheet for Dolores's interview, and as you can see, this is audio cassette of Dolores Avery. That got converted to DVD, obviously, CD before I got. I'll zoom that in a little bit. And you can see there, this property tag 10295 audio cassette of Dolores Avery. What I found, if you look up here in the upper right corner, the date that it was put into evidence is June 1st, 2007. So here we are, see 12, 18, basically 20, right at 20 months after the interview was done. Why would the DCI? This came from the DCI. If you look up there on the left, this is Agent Fassbender. So this comes from the DCI. It gets turned into Calumet for, I'm sure it went in for safekeeping, probably, and went to the safe. Why would they hold it that long? I don't know if it's nefarious or not, but to me, it doesn't matter. That's not what it's about. It's withholding it from the defense. They didn't get to hear it. Is that their fault? I don't know, probably, but it doesn't matter. If they had turned it over in a timely manner, within, let's just say a week or two after these DCI agents had this car ride, this interview, they were taking Dolores to Aurora Medical Center, I think, or bringing her home, one of the two, or maybe both. It may have been a combination. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It wasn't turned over to the prosecutor or to Calumet in a timely fashion. They should have had this by no later than the end of November 2005, and they didn't. I'm going to show you one more, and we're going to move on to the cost. Now, this is this ledger. This is a 300-page ledger. There's another 22 pages that were also got, but this is the original 300-page ledger that Seeking Truth got way back. So let's scroll down. We're almost to the end, and I'll show you another one that's worse. There's actually, I think, maybe one more other than this. But let me scroll here. Give me just one second. You know, this is weird here too. This is this. Let me scroll over here. Item 2, which is the Dassey computer CD. For some reason, on July 16, 2018, Amanda Bonnell took those out. Item removed from evidence, photographed, and CD was returned back into evidence. Why would they do that? I just, after all that time, why would they do that? Anyway,
It says viewed and then placed back into evidence.
which,
Where you just were with the Dassey CD.
Yeah, the Dassey CD. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to hang a bunch of innuendo out there, but I just think it's strange. But this other part, and as you can see, this is a list here, and they start at 14,921. I got 922, 920, 924. Got all those. 925. I don't think I got that one, but that's just that boat trailer and some other stuff that was on that SD card that they developed. Just some older items that were that Teresa photographed and were on that SD card. 925, no, to get that. 26. I got 926. 927 is the digital photos, videos, and that's 4 photographs, and we have them, and we've shown them, of that Pinto at the back of the property. The rusty colored Pinto with no engine in it. 928. I don't remember what 928 is, and I'd have to look, but we've got it. 929, CD and video, got that. But the one, you know, if you, I'm looking at these as a total. I'm not just trying to pinpoint, but I'm trying to highlight these as an overall electronic media, digital media, so forth and so on. And it's all case related. Now, I will tell you now, 14,931, it says 3 microcassettes, right? That is the Earl Avery interview. Oops. And as you can see, let me zoom in on this a little bit.
One was blank, right?
Well, actually, there's 3 cassettes that got allegedly sent out for digital conversion. Tape 1, side A and B, have an interview. Tape 2 goes for roughly 28 of the 48 minutes of side A. Then it goes blank. Side 2B is blank, and all of tape 3 is blank. That's another story in itself. But here's the real question. As you can see, this was returned for safekeeping from the DCI to Calumet to CASO, or the Sheriff's Department, March 1st, 2012. So they had held these recordings for that long, for whatever reason. And these photographs and these different interviews. And I have a real problem with that. I don't know if it's nefarious or not, but the main thing is that the defense didn't have it. So anyway, this person that made the comment, Doc would probably know exactly what I'm talking about. This person is a proclaimed lawyer. They're a guilter, which is fine. That's their prerogative. But he wanted to make an excuse. It was like, well, on the Dolores CD, they didn't give it back to June 1st. It was well after the trials were done. Well, they were probably just making sure they had everything before they turned it back over or turned it in. That in itself didn't make any sense. So I asked him a question about this. And of course, he deflected it in the true typical fashion of a guilter. Well, if you're, claiming some conspiracy, blah, 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 I'm not claiming anything. But this is the fact, and this is what they did. And is it Brady? I don't know if it's Brady or not. I'm not lawyerly enough to know that. I'm guessing that the ledgers were available. I don't know that Beating and Strain got the ledgers. I don't think they did, but I really can't remember. I know we flipped the hell out when we got them and saw, some of these items that we had absolutely no idea that they had, and the dates. So anyway, I wanted to talk about that for just a minute. So anyway, questions, comments? I've been running my mouth a long time.
I
If
had
I
a
could just say-
question. Oh, sorry. I
No,
just
go
wondered if have we heard the Dolores Avery interview? I don't
Oh, yeah.
remember it. But
Oh yeah, it's in the list. Yeah, it's in the interview list, playlist. I think they.
okay. And it doesn't have anything that is helpful to us, or who knows what they cut out.
Well, if you listen to it, you can tell that Dolores doesn't trust them. She doesn't really want to talk to them, and she says so. And they don't really go after her like too hard. They do. I can't remember which agent it is that does the talking. It was present, but there were two DCI agents. One was driving, and the other was a passenger and recording the interview. I mean, to me, what I took out of it was that Dolores didn't trust them and didn't really want to say much to them at all, and she didn't. It's a pretty dry car ride, actually.
Oh, she was smart not to trust him.
I think so. Yeah, Doc.
I was just a couple of points. The French wrecking crew wants to know when he's going to be invited on a foul play live chat. he can come on anytime, right?
You come right now. Jump in.
He's
Go.
Most welcome.
Absolutely.
Most welcome to come on the live chat. I was going to say, just really highlights the sloppy nature of the way the evidence has been handled. It's been done in a very haphazard way, and it really depends on what Mama Avery actually said to whoever interviewed her. Now, we actually haven't heard the contents of that cassette tape. Is that right, Jack 61?
Of Dolores Avery?
Yes, of Dolores.
Oh yeah, it's in the playlist. Absolutely, I got it last year.
Right.
I don't recall
Right.
hearing that.
Yeah, we've got it. Yep, we absolutely have it.
Yep. So it'll be very interesting to see what actually she said. And I think I don't recall mention Mama Avery really didn't say very much. She was very, very guarded. I remember her report that she said to the detectives, I don't know anything. I don't want to say anything. See you later. So it's a pity that her son, Stephen, didn't take a leaf out of her book.
Yeah, I think for Stephen, he was too mouthy. He talked too much. But being, putting ourselves in his position, there really wasn't much of anything else he could do because he's trapped, in a cage. So the only thing he could really use was his mouth.
Correct.
Yeah, I think it was maybe for him to give one, maybe two interviews might have been okay, but he did a lot more than that. A lot more. He gave several.
Well, what is interesting here, and again, I've spent a little bit of time on the Alex Murdoch trial. It's really remarkable, Jack 61, what words you say to law enforcement may and do often come back to haunt you. And there is absolutely no doubt that's exactly what's happening in the Alex Murdoch trial. But the same thing happened to Stephen. And remember, Mr. Kratz and his clan were listening to all the calls. They were doing that because they wanted to use Stephen's own words against him.
Yep.
So, you have to be very, very cautious what you say on tape to law enforcement, because they will use those words against you, especially in a criminal trial.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So before we jump over to start listening to calls, Jerome, if you want to jump in right now, you're more than welcome. One of the mods will give you the link to the Discord, and you're welcome to join our open mic and be on the panel. It's fine. We'd love to have you. So the open mic is exactly what it says it is. It's an open format. We don't. This is not in a closed private room where we record this. So, the only real guideline for the open mic is be simple, be cool. So that's pretty much it. So anyway, I've been kind of wanting to do this for a while. Go back and listen, but it's matter of having time to go back and re-listen to a lot of these calls. They're really interesting to go back now and listen. I had I won't say necessarily a good time, but it was like all over again last year, and in times past when we've gotten these various calls. So let me pull up this first one here, and this one is the one that really for us, I guess from an audio standpoint, kicked things off. Give me just 1 second. Now, you guys are going to have to bear with me. I only have one monitor that I'm working off of, so I kind of have to alt tab a little bit. So that's going to pop in there. Anybody, and this is another caveat, of course, with anyone that's here in Discord, you're going to have to unmute. You're going to have to unmute YouTube to hear this. Yeah, that turned out. So, okay. So November 3rd, 2:27 p.m., Karen Halbach calls CASO. And we can take a lot of interesting points, I think, away from listening to this, but I will say this. I probably will not play, because this is a 6-minute call, so I definitely would stop at least one time. But as we're going, if there's something that gets said and you want to talk about it, just stop me. Just tell me to stop, and I will. So with that said, you guys unmute. I'm going to start the call. Here we go.
County Sheriff's Department.
Hi, I'd like to report a missing person.
Okay. And how long have they been missing?
Nobody's heard from her since Monday.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, please, here. And where does the person live?
She's our daughter. She lives right next door to us. It's W3637 County D, Sobers.
And that's her address?
Right.
3637. And her name?
Teresa Halbach.
Okay. And your name?
Karen Halbach.
Karen?
Karen.
Karen, T-E-R?
K-A-R.
K. Oh, Karen, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Okay. What relationship is she to you?
My daughter.
Okay. And how old?
She's 25.
Okay. Do you know where she was last seen?
She works for AutoTrader. They had gotten a fax from her on Monday at 10:31. They had faxed her today, but they don't know if she got it or not. They haven't heard from her. And we haven't talked to her since Sunday. She was over here.
Okay, she works for AutoTrader.
And she's also worked for herself. She's self-employed.
Is she married or anything?
No.
Just lives alone?
No, she has a roommate. He hasn't heard from her since Monday either.
I'm going to pause it right here. She said the roommate hadn't seen her since Monday. They hadn't, and Karen said that they hadn't seen her since Sunday. And that she was over there. But what I take away immediately is the very calm nature of the call. And I'm not trying to throw off on Karen Halbach or anybody in the Halbach family. That's not it. I just, by comparison, know how I would feel. And my wife she would be tearing the building down.
Yeah, that's exactly what I got, Jack 61. She's extremely calm and very, very factual, matter of fact. In fact, there's no signs of panic or concern in her voice, right? And it tends to suggest that maybe Teresa Halbach has done this previously, i.e. gone missing without telling anyone. It's a very unusual missing person report. Normally, there would be an element of panic, concern. No, she's very dead calm, very calm.
And in fact, she actually had done this before, which we found out. I don't think I have it in this list of calls, but she had done this before, and I guess the mom and dad reamed her ass out and said she would never do it again. So Anyway, I'd like to welcome Jerome from the French Wrecking Crew. How are you? Thanks for coming.
Oh, can you hear me well?
Absolutely. I'm going to turn you up just a little.
Yes, like this?
There we go. I turned you up on my end. Yeah, there we go. That should be good.
Yeah. Okay. It's fine to see you all here. It's my first time here with you because I'm not a specialist on Discord and I don't know very well how it works. So it's my first time on a Discord live chat. But my first question is, how are you guys? How are you?
Doing very well. I guess the bigger question is, how are you?
I'm fine. I try to do my best for now on my channel in loving memory of Richard. I have put some when I talk about Richard, it's Avery Cozy.
Yeah, of course.
I have put some video of him, but with French translation. Like this, people who don't speak English can have access to his video and understand what he say. And I do it for him because I miss him every day, and I'm proud to do that for him. So I'm pretty well.
That's an awesome tribute to Eric Jose. Everybody, I'm sure, is very proud of you to do that. And I would thank you personally because we all miss him. He was such a force in the community, and it was a huge loss when he passed away.
Oh yeah, it was difficult since the time, and it's still difficult today because he was really the pillar of the community. And he was some amazing guy. He was really amazing in the life, not just in his video. He was a pure soul and with a beautiful mind, and it was a great loss. But we need to try to keep on moving and never give up for the justice.
Absolutely, 100% agree. You know, Diane, she did a little tribute to Eric Jose on Twitter the other day. That was really nice.
Oh yeah, it was really beautiful. She has a really beautiful voice.
She does,
and I was really surprised by this by that, and it was really, really beautiful. Thank you again, Diane. Thank you again.
Yeah, I actually had heard her sing before. It's been, I don't remember exactly what she sang, but I'd heard her sing before, and it's quite amazing. I'd say somebody else that can sing too, and that's Zoe. She can really sing too, but she won't do it.
Okay.
She can. Okay. She's amazing. She's so good at it. I mean, everybody here's heard her. She's really good. Anyway. All right. So Well, thanks again for coming and welcome. You're glad. I'm glad. If you have a comment, please don't hesitate to stop me as we're going through these calls. I'll stop.
Okay.
And the open mic is exactly what it says it is. It's not just me sitting around talking. It's here for everyone. I just control it and try to keep everybody, try to keep
discussion.
That's right. Just try to keep everybody, kind of in bounds of the topic of the day of what we're talking about. So anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you're on YouTube or not, but if you are,
no,
I'm playing the call from YouTube, so you're going to have to unmute YouTube on the live to hear the call. So
I'm going to do that right now.
Okay. Be sure you're muted
Yeah, you have to. Jerome just muted. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yep, there you go. So, all right. So let's continue on this really calm missing persons reports that Karen Halbach made on November 3rd, 2005.
His name?
Scott Bladon.
Do you know how to spell that?
BLOEDORN.
Okay. What is Teresa's middle name?
Marie.
And her date of birth?
3/22/80.
Okay. Your address?
W3559, County B, Gilbert.
And you said 3559?
Right.
3559. And your phone number?
989-1098.
Okay, 989-1098.
Right.
Okay, do you know what you said AutoTrader got a fax from her at 10:31 a.m.?
Right, I think. It could have been PM. They didn't say. I had called AutoTrader too. I think it was Monday morning.
Have you talked to Scott?
My husband did. He said he hasn't seen her since Monday. He was getting worried too.
Where would have been the last place that we would have seen her on Monday?
At home, I guess. He saw her at home.
Does he have any idea, remember what she was wearing?
He didn't answer that.
Okay. What's Scott's phone number?
He's at work. But I can give you the home phone. It's 989-2911.
2911. And he does live at 3637 County B?
Right. And he works for Jack Diedrich Construction.
Jack Diedrich?
Right.
Okay, does she have any medical conditions or anything? Anybody have any idea why she may not have returned home? Did they have an argument or anything?
We don't know. She doesn't have any medical conditions that we know of.
When does he get home from work?
Did he say when he was going to get home from work?
Okay. I'll want to go over there and talk to him, see once, if they had an argument or anything that she maybe took off because she wanted to.
They're not boyfriend, girlfriend or anything.
Oh, they're not?
No, they're not.
Okay. The last she was seen was at home. Do you know what she drives?
She drives a RAV4 Toyota. It's a dark green color kind of.
Oh. Did you say red or dark green?
Dark green.
Ford Toyota?
It's a RAV4.
Oh, RAV. I thought you said red.
Yeah.
Okay, dark green RAV. Never heard of that. RAV. Ford Toyota, dark green. You have any?
I have to, again, I apologize if this comes off as rough and towards this dispatcher, but a Ford Toyota Really? I mean, I guess some people just have no interest in automobiles and the various automobile manufacturers. But that really surprised me the first time I heard it. She said Ford Toyota. What the hell are you talking about? So anyway,
I think also Jack 61. The origin of the two RAV theory may have been started by Karen Halbach herself,
right?
by labeling the her RAV4 as a dark green RAV4.
That's right.
Crazy.
That's exactly right. This is exactly where it originated. Plus, some of the reporting, and it being the fact of this color shifting type paint, it absolutely twisted everything around the two RAV thing. To me, it did. It did. Hey, if people want to believe there's two RAVs, it doesn't bother me. It's okay. I'm okay with it. But it doesn't affect my opinion, and probably yours or many others. But I think you're exactly right, Doc.
She does say dark green, sort of.
Yeah, she did. This Ford Toyota, don't forget that. Anyway, or this Ford, it's Ford Toyota.
And the thing that the house of Karen Halbach and the house of Teresa are close, it's really weird because she is able, and all the family is able to see a car every day. So she must know that the Toyota, the color, she must know the color of the Toyota. It seems sweet for me. Then she lives nearby a daughter, and she never noticed the right color of the vehicle. It seems so strange to me. Really.
Well, yeah. I mean, it lends itself to this whole thing about how this color appears to us in various different forms of lighting, and I think it's probably the same for her. And also at the same time, these details. She saw her in it often, so it becomes one of those things you pay less attention to because you see it all the time. It doesn't really ring the register, so to speak. Something else is, I guess maybe at this point it might not matter, but here within hours of this call, it does matter, and that's the missing person posters say nothing about the damage to the left front side of that car. I don't care what color it is. It's damaged cosmetically. It looks pretty freaking awful. Like an eye got knocked out of it. So that's not mentioned anywhere in any news report or in the missing person posters, and it should have been.
I also
you're
find
absolutely right.
What's that, Susan?
Find it strange. I find it strange that what do you call her? The dispatcher asks, for Scott's phone number. And Karen's just like really casual. Oh, well, he's at work.
Well, he's at work. Yeah, I caught that. Yeah, I caught.
Like he's the last one to see her, right?
Yep.
But you can wait till he gets home from work, or the guy. Everybody has a cell phone at that point. I don't know. I just find that kind of strange.
Or she's just going to deflect her question. Just deflect it. That's what she did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find it strange too. All right, we've got.
Yep.
And just because they're not dating doesn't mean they couldn't have had an argument.
That's right.
They're roommates.
That's exactly right.
If you're worried something happened to your daughter, you would not care whether he's at work or not,
Exactly.
Get a hold of him.
Yeah, people in chat are agreeing. They're basically saying, what dispatcher. K says, if you're a dispatcher, it seems like you would be reading back a bunch of different car makes and models. And then Casey says, Casey's joined us in chat. Hi, Casey. She says, yeah, should definitely have some knowledge of what vehicles are out there, you'd think. Yoga, he says, just like the truth appears different when you put it in the light. Jaznaz and Wardy's joined us. Hi, Jaznaz, Wardy. Jaznaz, he says, I don't know. Even the paper boy doesn't remember what car he had in 2005. So there's a lot of different views. Sorry, I've got to take a call. I'll be back in a minute.
Thank you, Alice.
And why on hell she don't describe physical appearance? Why she's focused on the car, and why not on Teresa?
That's right.
It seems crazy. You report somebody missing. You report all the details. If you want to find the person, and Karen, she doesn't look like in panic at the phone. It seems so weird. This call is so weird. Like the day after, when the press is coming and ask Mike Halbach, how are you doing? And he responds, oh, the grieving process could last days, weeks, years. And Teresa is just missing for him, from his point of view, for him for one day. He's talking about the grieving process. She's just missing.
As if he knows he knows she's already dead.
Yeah, I think so. On my theory, he knows. Ryan is involved. Mike is involved too, but not involved in a murder. I don't say they have killed Teresa, but I'm sure they know what happened to her. She's maybe dead at home, maybe an accident. I was watching the other day the channel of the Wisconsin, I don't remember the name, Fox 11 News, I think, all during the years. All years, 2005, 2006, 2007. There is hundred of videos, and I see there were a lot of crash of on the road. People report on the police. There is people who vanishing like this, and all the time when it was an adult, the police is not really. How can I say that? They don't see a red flag directly, because they said, yeah, but it's an adult person, so she can or he can do what he wants. But just there, it's Teresa has disappeared. They focus on the vehicle. I don't understand why. And
I mean, the thing is here, I'm not sure how it is where you live, Jerome, but here, an adult.
Belgium.
Well, see, here in the United States, if an adult wants to walk away from their life, they can. It's perfectly legal. And if they don't want, others to know where they're at, that's legal too. So the police always seem to have that in front of them first, because it does happen. A girlfriend's trying to get away from an old boyfriend or an abuser. So they've disappeared. They don't want to know. They don't want to let anyone know where they're at, because they're afraid. They're fearful. I don't necessarily agree with that. So you're right.
No, I understand, but in Belgium it doesn't work like that. So, and I'm not aware of all the law in all the states of the United States.
Just to be fair, by this time, she had been missing for 48 hours. So, that may make a difference.
That too, that's typically if you call, if you can't find someone in your family after 3 or 4 hours and you call the cops, they're going to say, well, you're going to have to wait at least 24 to 48 hours before you report them missing.
Okay, my bad.
No. It's
Can I just make 2 comments? So this is very interesting, because if Teresa Halbach was really murdered on the 31st, it means that we don't have the first 48 hours. You understand? Because the investigation starts later. So the so-called crucial 48 hours is missing because the investigation hasn't started. And the other important point is this: it goes to show how important it is to ensure the accuracy of information that you put on a missing person's sheet. The RAV4 was labeled as dark green. It's not, it's actually blue. That's a very important distinguishing factor. Plus, there was no mention of a broken blinker light. Now, Karen may not have been aware of this, which is fair enough, but it also demonstrates that she wasn't aware of any defect on that car. So that makes it rather fishy with Ryan Hilliger's story about the fact that it was an insurance claim. It couldn't possibly be. And Jerome made a very good point. The home that Teresa Halbach lived with Blowdawn was actually very close to the residence of her parents.
That's right. That's all good points. That the damage to that car, again, it doesn't matter what color it is, it should have been listed on that missing persons report. And I don't know who
I
always.
think it's 400 feet away from a home, from a parent's home. So, and there is no tree, there is no obstacle to see or don't see the house. You can see the house really well, and you can. And for me, it doesn't make sense.
I know, I get it. I mean, but to be fair though, there are people they just don't really pay that much attention to what people drive. They just don't. And that sounds kind of bad, but that's true. They, like somebody, they came over, but what were they driving? Well, hell, I don't know. It was white. It was a white car, and that's all they know. But yeah, there's still, again, with what we know now, and what was reported, that damage to that car was not reported to anyone. And in fairness to what Doc said, it should have been, that car should have been labeled bluish green or greenish blue.
Yeah.
It should have been both.
Absolutely. And the first one to mention that is Ryan Hilligas.
There you go.
And can I just make the point? Mystic Jinx has stated that the Halbach family had the police around their home on the 2nd to report a deer incident.
That's right. She got an incident report about that. That's correct.
Yeah, correct.
All righty. We've got.
I think it was like half dead out in the field, and they wanted them to come and
coming. Yeah, that's right.
Finish it.
All right, we got about a minute and a half of this call left. Let's get it finished up. So again, if you're in Discord, you got to unmute YouTube. All right, here we go.
Idea what the flight number might be?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Okay, it would be. Do you know if it's listed to her or if there's any? It is. Okay. Does she have any tattoos or anything?
No, not that I know.
Okay. We'll have to have somebody come over, see what we can do.
Sure.
Get as much information for us as you can. Do you know about any piercings, ears pierced or anything like that?
I think her belly button is pierced. But and her ears are good.
Okay. Pierced belly button and ears. Okay. Well, our officers are all out in the accident right now.
Yeah.
I will have. Are you going to be home all night?
Yes.
I will have somebody stop on over see if we can get a little more information. Do you know her blood type? No. Okay. We'll see what we can do and get an officer over by you.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks.
Sure. Goodbye.
So, they said they were all out on another accident. And I think there's been and my memory's failing me here. I can't remember if we have information about this other accident or not. I can't. Maybe somebody in the live chat can remember, one of you guys, because I don't. Her saying there was nobody there. I just don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. Okay. So, Doc?
Jack 61, can I make 2 points?
Please.
This is very, very interesting, what the dispatcher asked Karen Halbach regarding whether she had any medical conditions and whether she had a tattoo. And isn't it interesting that the investigators used the fake medical condition on Brendan Dassey, saying that, oh, she needs to be found because I think she said the detective said that she had diabetes or something, that she needed her medication. And further, what did investigator Fassbender ask Brendan about, did she have a tattoo on her tummy? That it's pretty clear that the investigators had listened, they must have listened to the call and used those two confirmatory items to question Brendan Dassey on 2 different occasions. Very, very interesting.
It sure was. Yep, and I remember that.
Yeah. I have also a question. Did a murder is a federal crime in Wisconsin?
Well, a murder per se is not. However, there's a caveat. There's a caveat to that. Let's just say let's just say that someone chased someone from one state to another across state lines and then murdered them. Then it's a federal crime.
Okay, and somebody who disappeared is not a federal crime either.
Correct.
Okay, so why do we have the DCI just from day one on this investigation? Why do we have Fassbender?
The DCI is a state law enforcement. They're not federal. You have to understand the differences in the different law enforcement agencies. You have your county, which would be like Calumet or Manitowoc. They all have their own sheriff's department. That's local. And then the state level would be your DCI agents and your state troopers. And then you move up beyond that into the FBI, the U.S. Marshals. That's how the different levels of law enforcement are here.
Okay, I figure out, but you guys don't think that it's so weird and you have all these people from day one on this investigation?
Oh, no. I think it's very weird.
You have everyone. You have the DCI, you have the FBI, you have Kratz, you have everyone in this case. For a missing girl? Well,
I mean, you do the comparison between Teresa's case and the Rudy case. I think Doc will probably talk an hour about the differences there. It's crazy.
Don't get me started, 61. Don't get me started.
I mean, by comparison,
she was pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, by comparison, Christine Rudy got almost no support from law enforcement agencies. There were a few that showed up, did this, did that. Eisenberg, her evidence was conclusions were wrong. They were bad wrong. It wasn't just a little bit wrong. They were bad wrong. So, Calumet's not that large of a department. And when it was decided, I guess that, it was, correct me if I'm wrong here, guys. Wasn't it Remaker that really involved the DCI originally? I know I've got a call here. I'm going to play it here in a few minutes.
It's him.
Yeah. And then it might have been Rohr that also might have made a call. I don't know. I just know that they were on it very quickly. I don't have it in today's list. We also have Deb Strauss on the 4th. I didn't quite make it to her call because I think I've got 20 calls picked. Most of them are pretty short. There are a couple of them that are a few minutes long, but
Oh yeah, you have the Strauss calling on the 4th to give her help on the investigation because she really don't like Stephen Avery.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's not how it's supposed. That's not how it's supposed to work, as far as I know. And that, to me, it shows a real. I won't say diabolical, but it's to me, it's like. Well, I mean, there's been discussion, that Peg called or someone. It came from a higher above. Got the messenger, said, "Go involve yourself in this case," and she was all over this. She did a lot of stuff in the background. There are a lot of DCI reports from Dead Strauss that we do not have. We can't get. I know others are trying to get them through open records, but so far, there's many that we do not have. So,
you really have to wonder why she had such a dislike for Stephen, because she was investigating his wrongful conviction, a guy that spent 18 years in prison.
Yep, 12 of them that he shouldn't have, for sure.
Wrongfully, and that was her job, to investigate that wrongdoing, and she found it all out. It's all in her reports.
She sure did.
She knows exactly what happened to him. So why the hell does she have this dislike for Stephen Avery?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think there's a chunk we're missing. Go ahead, Jerome.
Because she's with the state, and if we think the state want to set up Stephen, Deb is in the right place at the right moment.
But she was so vocal about it, Jerome. That's the thing. She even said it on the damn. She said it on the damn phone. I don't really like it.
Yeah, I know. It's more than crazy, really.
Well, for somebody in her position,
investigating Stephen. She was investigating him. She was investigating everybody that wrongfully convicted him. It just makes no sense, except that, yes, the state was out to get his ass.
Yep, I agree. All right. Any questions? I haven't looked at the chat. I apologize. Let me check the chat here right quick.
She was probably afraid if Stephen won his lawsuit, it would affect her paycheck. They had to pay out a lot of money.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We've had Audrey M join us. Thanks for coming. And some questions it look like about blood, probably blood type, because if she is hurt, they cannot give her positive blood if she is a negative. Just a guess. Yeah, the blood question is, I don't know, I thought it was kind of weird, but maybe not. Maybe there's nothing really nefarious. Maybe inexperience. I don't know. That dispatcher didn't seem to me like that they weren't really experienced in taking over.
For me, in every case, everybody is suspect. Everybody. And in this case, the Halbach has never been suspect. The friend of Teresa has never been suspect by anyone. And according to the FBI, 93% of the victims of this crime know the people are the victim of the people they know. So it's nonsense, really. It's make nonsense.
Yeah.
Can I just make a comment?
Please.
Sorry, Jerome. Regarding the question about the blood type. There's absolutely no way a first responder is going to be reliant on Karen Halbach's guess about what her daughter's blood type is. If someone is in urgent requirement of blood, they're going to give type O, right? Blood type that no one's going to respond to. There's no way they're going to be reliant on any type of second party guess, because if you give the wrong blood type, you could potentially kill the person. So then that obviously they will take a sample of Teresa Halbach's blood and then find out what her true blood type is. But normally, if they're going to do a transfusion, an emergency transfusion, if say she was hurt, it'll be the type O. So you don't respond to it, you don't react to it.
That's an excellent point. I hadn't even thought about that. Okay.
But if I can just mention something, they have access to Teresa's house. This is their parents. So Teresa must have in her house some medical paper or something like this. Mention is blood type, and her mother, her own mother, or somebody around doesn't know anything about her blood type. They have access to everything in her house, all the paper she have. So she must have medical paper. I have in my own, in my house here, a lot of paper talking about my issue, about my fibromyalgia, everything. Mention my blood type, my age, you see what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, some people have that kind of stuff, readily available, but not everyone does that. They just don't have it, readily available. I also remember that
someone.
Go ahead.
So sorry.
No, go ahead.
If someone you love, your daughter you love, disappear and you are in panic, and she lives nearby, you will do everything. You will open all the. You will go to the house and check everything, every papers to try to find where she is.
I agree. I totally agree.
So to don't mention so much when she called the police, not the physical description, not a lot. She focused on her car, and even the media focus on the car. It's if I remember well, it was the prime focus of the media to find the car of Teresa, not Teresa herself,
but the car.
It was yeah.
That's right.
So no, the point was to find Teresa, not her car. We don't care about her car. We care about Teresa. So we need I think in a investigation to give all the details you can have on the person who have disappeared.
Absolutely, but even in finding, as you pointed out, and there are a lot of, these old news reports on N64's channel, YouTube channel. The focus, a lot of the focus was on the car, but even the car the description was wrong. It was just wrong. So here you have all the community that saw the report. There are call-ins about people, spotting Rav here, spotting Rav there. Then we have the Ramlo report and others, but that's right. But even the original missing person posters were incorrect. So that it skews everything, right?
And the missing poster was made on the 2.
That's right. On the 2nd. That's exactly right.
And she's report missing on the 3, on the 3rd.
Well, I personally think, Jerome, that there were already conversations with law enforcement that they had in some fashion, one way or the other, either by going down there or by another phone call that we do not have. I've tried to get them and was denied. Yeah. I was denied access to that.
Because it's clear that the police don't give access to all they have on the public. It's clear water.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I requested actually all dispatch calls from Calumet from October 31st through November 2nd. So that 5 days prior what we do have, and I was Weird denied it. He wouldn't let me have it. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move on to let's move on to this next call, and let's see what I wrote down here. This call is going into MTSO. Call number 2 that I've got written down is from Uyghur, and this is at 6:03 p.m. that afternoon of the 3rd. This is Uyghur calling MTSO. So it's less than a minute. There may be a transfer in here. So let's see what this is. All right, here we go.
Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department, this is Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. Do you have any detectives working tonight at the Sheriff's Department?
No.
No, huh?
No.
Who's your shift commander right now?
Would be Sergeant Colburn.
Okay, could you patch me through to him?
Sure, and who's calling?
This is Investigator Mark Weird from the Calumet Sheriff's Department.
Hold on, please.
Thanks.
Shift commander. Hello, it's going to be Calumet County for my shift commander.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, bye.
But it sounded like Culver was out on the road, which I'm 99.9% sure that he was, because he was a patrol sergeant on duty. So, and you heard her dial. It sounded to me like 9 and then, or whatever, to get an outside line, and then 7 digits. So there was that connection. Nothing too nefarious, but this is this is around 6 o'clock on the 3rd. Let me pop that on. We'll go, if there's any comments, go ahead and get to it. And while I get this next call.
It's just after the Karen Halbach calls.
Well, not too long. I mean, she called at 2:27. This is at 6 p.m. So about 3.5 hours roughly has passed. Now, this call, it'll be on here in a second. This call is Colburn calling in to dispatch at, it says 1913, but that's, that would be 713. This is roughly 30 minutes after he had gotten the ATL, the attempt to locate, that was broadcast to all the road patrol. They would have gotten this alert. It would describe Teresa. It would have described her car and the plate number. This is Andy calling in, asking about a dead girl. And this call is about a minute long. So let's give it a
Sharon.
Yeah.
I hear that the city just discovered a little while ago a 25-year-old dead girl in an apartment on the south side of town.
Yeah. They discovered her early this morning, at 8 this morning.
By any chance, is it Teresa M. Halbach? She's 25 years old. That's what I'm wondering. Do we have an ID on her?
Yeah. Carrie knows the name. Can you hold on?
Sure.
Andy?
Yeah.
It's Carmen Boatwell.
Okay.
Andy?
Definitely not our missing girl from Calumet County.
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
So then, as everyone knows, we went into, and even to this date, I guess some people may still believe that there was some kind of switch here, some kind of relationship, familial relationship between this boot boy girl and Teresa Halbach. But as far as I know, and Doc, you're more forensic than anyone. There's no connection. Is that right?
Zero.
Yeah, right. But something was really weird, I think, that Colburn mentioned a 25-year-old dead, but she don't know her name. So that means somebody had mentioned to Colburn that a girl was dead. She was 25, but he didn't mention the name of the girl. So he must contact the dispatch to know if it's Teresa. And the dispatch say, no, it's Carmen Bootwell. But the men or the people we have gave this information to Andy Colburn, who are they? If it was the police itself, they know it's Carmen Bootwell. You see what I mean?
Actually, Jerome, you make a very good point, because it's rather bizarre that you've got someone like Colburn ringing in dispatch, wanting to know. He's basically clueless as who that 25-year-old a woman who just passed away that day, her name. That's really,
you don't know.
Very weird.
Yeah, you don't know who is it, who is the girl who died, and you need to contact the dispatch to know. So where he gave this information?
And where did Colburn actually get that information in order to ring up dispatch? Who told him that?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Good point, Jerome.
Sure is. All right. So, but this time, and now we're moving in. This next call is as you can see there, it's at 1924, which is just a few minutes after Andy called. This is at 7:24 p.m. So, but this time, there's more information coming in, and forces are gathering, and there's a meeting that's getting called, and they're calling people in. I don't know who this. I didn't write it down who this person was. This could be Jacobs, but I'm not positive. This call is 40 seconds, so there's a few of these. So we'll knock these out, and then we'll talk. I'm going to play this.
Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department, this is Lynn.
209.
Oh, hang on.
Hello?
Yes,
You are supposed to respond to the SO to meet with Jim Lake.
I am.
Yes?
Any idea what it's about?
No, sir, I don't.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
So she said, you're supposed to, he said 209. I think that's Jacobs, but I'm not positive. Maybe somebody out there in the chat knows for sure. But this is report to the SO. That's sheriff's office. So I'm going to clear that up. And so let me get this knocked off here. That's 7:24. This next call is at 7:26, and this is Remaker. Hold on. Let me turn that back on. I apologize. There we go. All right, this one's again. This one's wait a minute. That's not right. That's still 1924. Technical difficulties. Give me just 1 second. You guys talk amongst yourselves for just a minute. I apologize.
Yeah, don't worry. There is so much call and so much file to to find and check. And so, yeah. I want just to say hello to everybody in the chat. I want to say hello to Rhonda, to Tony. Tony, how are you doing, my friend? It's a long time we've talked together. It's been a while.
Jerome, you talking to me?
Yes?
Yes. Yeah, it certainly has been a long time, Jerome. And I remember vividly our fantastic conversation we had about John F. Kennedy. That was incredible. Really enjoyed that, Jerome.
Oh, yeah, me too. And we need to do an episode 2 because we have just scratched the surface.
A lot of people want me to talk about JFK.
Oh, yeah. I receive a lot of people. I receive a lot of message too to know when I will do a second video with you about JFK. So
yes, we must get together and do a part 2. I promise, Jerome.
Thank you very much, Tony. You're a great guy.
Thank you.
And I hope everybody's fine.
Okay, I think this is the correct call. If I'm not, you guys can beat on me. I apologize because I copied that the prior call twice, but I think this is the correct call, and I think this is who did I say, Remaker? Yeah, Remaker. I think this is right. So if it's not, I'll find it. All right, here we go.
Antwerp Church, Cemetery speaking.
Gary Remaker.
Hi, you are supposed to respond to the info to meet with Jim Lake.
Okay.
Thank you.
What do you got?
I have no idea, sorry.
Okay.
Right.
Just let him know. Is he there? Or?
No, not yet.
Okay. If he's asking, I'm leaving basketball. I got to go home first.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, bye.
Bye.
So that's a Remaker calling in, saying he'll be there. Let's see, there may be, I don't know if I got in the middle of it or not. Nope, this next one is a call. This is Link. I think it's Link calling in for criminal history on George Zipper. Give me just 1 second. This is about a 2-minute call, so let's get to it and see what they said. Because it's got some interesting information. Of course, we found out.
Karen, I need you to run a criminal history for me. I'll give you the guy's name.
I pause this for just a second because it's strange that this started out with a call with digits going out, and then suddenly Link is talking. That wasn't like a call in, so I'm not sure what's going on there. I have no control over it. The recording is what it is. I just noticed it. I noticed it a long time ago, and it's just weird because you would think it would be like all a big part of these calls. You hear the phone ringing. This is Manitowoc Sheriff's Office. This is Carrie or whoever. We don't get that here. Digits calling out. So anyway, here we go.
Middle initial, date of birth, the whole thing.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Last name is Zipper, Zebra Ida, double P Paul, E Edward R Robert, E Edward R Robert.
Okay.
George, common spelling, B boy. He's a male, white. 0516 of 40, 516 of 40. And then give me a 21 if he has a criminal history. Just let me know on the radio if he has a criminal history, okay?
Okay.
If there's no criminal history, then let me know.
You can just wait 1 second. I can let you know. Right
Okay. Sounds good. He's the suspect right there, retail theft. that's an 83 though.
He does have one.
No, DVDC, family trouble. He does have a criminal history?
Yes, I don't know what it is though. I
Okay.
might have to run another screen.
He said she was taking pictures of his son's car. I don't know son's first name though.
It's not his son, it's his grandson.
Got that address down though. Okay.
I thought you were saying 1892? Disorderly conduct, and that's it.
Just a DC on his criminal history?
Yep.
Yep, we saw that on the in-house. That was DVO related, it looked like,
2002.
02?
Doesn't tell me what it was related.
Okay, thank you very much, Karen. Bye.
Well, that's an interesting call. As I noted, she dialed something and then suddenly he's on the line like he's calling in. I'm not sure what happened there. Nothing I can do about it anyway, but some interesting information. He's got some domestic violence. She couldn't see what it was. So that could potentially be something to do with Jason. We don't know. He identified him as a son, but it's not his son. It's his grandson. That's not his son. So, of course, we didn't know that this stuff way back when. We just accepted it as it was. But of course, we found out later.
Jack 61. When was that call made by Link?
This is at it says 8:12 to 8:14 p.m. on the night of the 3rd.
What time did Karen call in? She called in at about 2:27 p.m.
Yep, that's right.
So that means that by the time after Karen had finished, law enforcement had already rung up AutoTrader and worked out where she had gone that day, because they named your zipper.
That's correct. And there are calls. There are some calls on Calumet side that I didn't want to. It could get really tedious, so I left it out because I knew that there was a call, and we're going to listen to it here shortly, of Manitowoc law enforcement talking to Calumet law. They got a conference call. So that's coming. That's the reason I didn't do it.
Right,
you are correct.
The important point here, Jack 61, is that they've now narrowed on all the people that Teresa Halbach had stopped. That obviously can only deal with the known facts, the places that she had stopped to take photographs. They're not considering any outsider, as in another individual. They're only sticking to what they know at this stage.
That's correct. Exactly right.
Yes,
okay.
I don't know, guys, if you remember this call with, I think it's Weigert and Remaker, when they mentioned the need to
change your plans.
No, not the change of plans. To re-interview Avery and Remaker, or I think it's Remaker, who mentioned then Zipperer will be furious.
Yeah, that's the morning of the 5th, I think.
Yeah, I think, but I always ask myself why Zipperer will be furious. Then they need to re-interview Avery.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, the whole George Zipper thing, Joe Allen, all of it was just a train wreck to me. All of it, just a disaster.
Yeah, anyway. Absolutely. And in this case, the timeline of certain call doesn't fit at all.
Correct. That's right. Well, this next call, this is Remaker calling the DCI, and this is at 8:15. This is 2015. That's 8:15 on the night of the 3rd. and this is before their meeting. And this, of course, this is one of the newer calls where he calls the DCI to try to find out if they can use their technology, whatever it is, to ping Teresa's phone. So let's give that a listen. It's less than 3 minutes, so let's give it a listen. And if you need to interrupt me, then just say so.
The number you have reached, area code 6.
I'm going to fast forward through.
8 has been 0.
Department of Justice, Answering Service, Bruce.
Hey, this is Detective Dave Remaker from the Sheriff's Department in Manitowoc. We've got a missing female adult. And what I was checking on to see if DCI, I know when I went to deaf school, they had some technology where they could ping cell phones. I don't know if you can help me with answering that, or you just answering the phones after hours, or
Answering the phones after hours.
Yes, okay.
If you need something handled tonight, I can try and get a hold of an on-call person.
Okay. Do you know if they've got that technology yet, or?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But let's see. You said this is Manitowoc?
Yeah.
Tony?
Yeah.
And
Otherwise,
trying to locate the cell phone of a missing person, or?
yeah, we went when I went to deaf school. They had a presentation where some guys came in with some high-tech equipment, and they had the ability to ping a cell phone on in an attempt to locate where a person was. And we've got it's kind of an unusual circumstance here with a possible suspect. And I thought I'd give it a shot and see what DCI can do for us.
Okay, what's your name?
Dave Remaker, R-E-M-I-K-E-R, detective.
Okay, that's what Connie. Call back number.
I'll give you my cell, 920 323 1929.
1929.
Yep.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
I think that's a really interesting call. And I don't know the legalities. Maybe Cherie can comment if she knows, or someone in the live chat. I don't know if they're trying to circumvent getting a search warrant at this point. I mean, to me, exigent circumstances should allow them to get a warrant pretty easily. But with phones and certain things, you have to present, what do you call it? Life-threatening situation potential, and present evidence in your affidavit of that. But nonetheless, I still think they could have gotten one without trying to me, they're trying to avoid getting a warrant. Thoughts?
Well, did they do the obvious thing, Jack 61, and actually ring her phone number? They would have, surely.
They did, and I've got it.
Okay. Oh, excellent, excellent.
And the thing is that Remaker won the DCIs involved in the case, for sure, because he asked a lot about that. So again, for me, it's strange that the Department of Justice give his help on the disappearance of somebody. Don't you guys? You don't find that strange? I don't know. I live in Belgium, so
I find it a little odd. I won't say with law enforcement here that I find it extremely odd, because I don't know. To me, the pendulum for the rights of the individual have swung away from us too far. They're swung too far in the favor of the state. It's an adversarial system. and there's supposed to be checks and balances within that adversarial system that doesn't allow one side or the other to have an advantage. And to me, right now, the state has, and you can include the federal with that too, but law enforcement in general, to me, and the state prosecutors, they have a huge advantage over especially someone that's poor, that has no wealth. We've talked about a lot about that. So I find it a little strange, Jerome, but I don't find it extremely strange. What I do think, though, again, without knowing for sure, maybe Cherie can answer this. Would they be required at this point if they wanted to ping her phone to get a warrant, or is that something that's kind of outside the purview, or do you know?
I don't know about pings. I know we talked about getting phone records for a client, but we would have had to ask the judge, get a court order, and we didn't. So we didn't go that far. So no, I don't know about pings.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of I guess, non-invasive. You can't really get anything except location, and from a privacy standpoint, I don't know how that would play out in a search warrant. I just don't know. I mean, it's kind of a
evidently a very new technology at that point.
Yes, absolutely.
We just learned about it. And so I would think that to get a ping, no. I mean, you're looking for a missing person, just trying to locate. I wouldn't think so, but I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, if I had a missing sister or something, I would want them to use that technology to try and track her.
Absolutely, that's what they have done on the Kylie Ronnie case. They find the body and the car nearby the last ping on her phone. But the thing is, if they are looking for the last ping of Teresa, they don't need to go to watch to the Avery's because the ping is not there. The last ping is close from Cuss Road. So why don't they investigate Cuss Road right away?
Well, that's a good question.
I thought it was interesting how he said, it's kind of a special circumstance. We kind of have a suspect.
Yep, that's right. I caught that too.
Stephen was the topic of their meeting, I have no doubt.
Well, they throw it around a lot, and I think we're almost to that. Let me see the list
here. Can I just say a couple of comments?
Please.
I remember what Mr. Kratz said in his book regarding Wiegert coming down to his office on November the 3rd, and he said, "You're not going to believe this. Guess where Teresa Halbach had stopped?" Yep, that's right, at Avery, which meant that on November the 3rd, they would have had Stephen Avery's name on their lips already. So even though they were trying to question George Zipperer, I dare say they were also looking at Stephen Avery on the same day.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah,
and
we haven't really.
The same for the media. The media has pointed the finger on Stephen right away. In the media, I quote, "The interesting thing is the last stop of Teresa Halbach was Stephen Avery, a man involved in a crime and spent 18 years in prison for a crime he didn't commit." That's weird. And
he was in the news. He was in the news a lot at that time because of the Avery bill and.
Yeah, I have talked with Dave Begokta about that, and he told me that it was all over the news. But the thing that Dave was thinking, it was also strange. They were so focused on the car, not the person itself. They were very, very focused on the car. I don't understand this point.
Well, it's a fact, and there's a lot of failings and shortcomings that they did with the car. But I think Doc will agree with me, probably others, that RAV4 is the most important piece of evidence.
Yes, it is. It's quintessential to unraveling what happened to Teresa Halbach. A lot of the forensic evidence is in that vehicle, on that vehicle. It's a crucial piece of forensic evidence to examine, the number plates, the broken blinker light, underneath the hood, the seats. We did the podcast on MVACing.
I was just fixing to say, do you want to talk about the MVAC?
No, don't get me started, Jack 61. I'm really loving this podcast. It's been fantastic, and I think it definitely was a good idea to go back to the original telephone calls, because it's providing a really interesting roadmap of how this case came about. Really fascinating.
Absolutely, and again, there are, and I probably the next time we do this, in addition to what we don't maybe necessarily get to tonight, I'm also going to play some calls from Calumet County that obviously wouldn't be captured through this playlist. But anyway, all right, let's.
I would like to know if you guys know if the law enforcement have had some contact with Teresa's friend at the time.
Which any of them, or we know they had some contact
when she was missing.
Well, we know they had some contact that afternoon because they went to the house and collected. Ron gave them the phone.
Yeah. But I don't talk about Ryan or Scott. I talk about other friends.
Oh, like Kelly Pitson and.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. For example, yeah.
I don't think yet. At this point, I don't think. If they did, I've forgotten it, or I don't think they did. Now that I'm thinking about it, that comes a little bit later.
Okay.
So this
it's
next
really strange that they did not immediately interview Scott Bladorn.
I agree.
I agree too.
Immediately.
And Ryan.
And treat that house as not necessarily a crime scene, but forensically check it. All of it. Yes. Garage, house, everything.
Yeah, everything. And I don't know if you remember the interview with Scott at her house when she was missing. He was looking like so nervous and so
looking down.
Shocked. Yeah, and looking down. And the family, not at all. They were strange, but they were not acting like Scott. So it's an hypothesis, but I think Scott had find the body, because I continue to say it's maybe not a murder. It's maybe, I don't know. Her father, Richard, is died and at 31, I think, from heart attack.
Yep,
and
that's right.
It's maybe happened to her, or dear friend Eric Ozzy is dead at 44 from a heart attack. It happens.
It does happen.
It does happen. So maybe Scott had find the body of Teresa, alert the parents, and in the same times they were in contact with the cops for the accident happened on the 2nd of November, and maybe the cop had found out an opportunity to put the blame on Teresa. Use Teresa. Using Teresa as a victim and for blame Stephen and set up Stephen. You see what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean that's not beyond the realm of possibilities. Let me just put it that way, Jerome. I'm not saying that happened, but it's certainly not beyond the realm of possibilities.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nothing is impossible.
I mean, as many things as if we, uncovered, there's still, I'm convinced there's a mountain of stuff we don't have yet.
Oh,
Anyway, let's move on to this next call. And this is at 8:23. Detective Jacobs calls Carrie. I guess he's there in the building. I guess I'm not exactly sure, but nonetheless, he wants her to run a 27 on Teresa. A 27, I guess, is a background check. So let's listen to this. It's not. This is a minute, little over a minute and 20 seconds. So let's take a listen to this one.
Sheriff's Department, Michelle speaking.
Hi, Michelle. Can you run a 27 for me quick?
Dennis, are you working?
Yes, I am.
What are you doing here so late?
Well, I'm going to have you run this 27, then you'll see.
Okay, go ahead.
Last name is Halbach.
Halbach? Yep.
Teresa.
T-H or T-E?
T-H-E-R-E-S-A.
Okay.
And Mary, female unknown, 322 of 80. And I'll be right down to get it.
No, it's Dennis. Did you need him for something? No, it's Dennis. Jacob. No, she doesn't need you.
I'll be right down
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay. So he wants a background check for Teresa. We don't hear the results of that. Now, this next call is...
Jack, if I can.
Yep.
He's completely wrong. There is no H to Teresa.
No, that's correct.
T-E-R-E-S-A.
That's
and
correct.
she asked him again with her H or not. Yes, with her H.
Yeah, he's wrong. We know he's wrong.
So, yeah, but with all these little pieces of misleading, misinformation, wrongdoing, wrong stuff, wrong. You see, it's a lot. It's too much. It's really too much.
Well, it's sloppy. It's in many cases, many areas of the case, it's shady. It whether it's nefarious or not, that's the result of what we get out of it. And without that missing piece, because I don't want to sit here and call somebody shady and dirty and they're created this conspiracy. I don't want to do that. I want to support our law enforcement. We need law enforcement. We need honest law enforcement.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't give a shit where they. I don't give a damn where they're at.
Good one.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, anyway,
Jack, just one question there. When he was describing her, he said female and then unknown. I don't know what he meant by that.
I'm not sure if that's race or date of birth.
No, he gave the date of birth.
And it could have been race. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Is that possible? As the two RAFO, then we have two Teresa Halbach. Teresa Halbach with a H and one without the H. The Halbach, the name Halbach is a current name in America. I don't know. I think it's come from Germany, but
I think the TH is just wrong. He made a mistake. That's what I think. Anyway, Doc.
Can you go through exactly what the background check is meant to reveal? Are you talking about like a criminal background?
Yeah.
Whether there's been... Okay, so whether she's been involved in any incidences in the past.
That's correct. Yeah, it would show up any arrest or any incidents within Calumet that they could pull from Calumet County or Manitowoc County, I guess, at that point.
You mean like potential traffic accidents to knock out a blinker light?
Well, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, traffic stuff.
That was nefarious of me. Sorry about that.
Well, it's okay. I mean, it works.
I remember a call to claiming that Teresa was clean since 1999. What does it mean?
Yeah, that's not that. That's not it. Yeah, that's not it. Yeah, I don't think we have a. I don't think we have the actual an actual background check on her, but I do remember that call you're talking about, Jerome. I do remember that.
And for you, what does it mean? She's clean from 1999.
It could have been. It could be anything. It could have been a traffic stop. It could have been. It could be anything. Clean since 99. That to me, that means that there's nothing on her record since 1999. Nothing showing up at all.
Okay.
Could have been a speeding ticket. Could be.
Could be anything.
Anything. That's right.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, even if there wasn't a report, like, let's just say that she was speeding, she was going 10 miles over the speed limit, cop pulls her over. He doesn't write her a ticket, but it generates an incident, but there's really no report. He just gives her a warning to slow the hell down and lets her go. There's no report, but it does generate by the dispatcher an incident, because if that would have been the case, he would have called in this car, he would have said the license plate number and they would have pulled a background check on that. I'm just giving you the hypothetical. Could be anything.
Thank you for the explanation.
Absolutely.
Because I said, I'm not aware of all the everything in the law in the different states in America. It's already difficult in Europe, and I need to do that for America too. So it's not all the time easy, because I work on a lot of cases.
Sure.
Okay, but thank you very much.
Absolutely. All right, this next call, Doc had asked about calling Teresa's phone, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that got queued here. Hold on. Yeah. And I don't know who, it doesn't say who this is that dialed it, but this is Teresa's voicemail. So it's 44 seconds. So here we go.
The mailbox belonging to
Teresa Halbach.
is full and cannot accept new messages at this time. Please try again later. Goodbye.
So that was at 8:30. So whoever it was called found out the mailbox was full. No idea who, but there it is. This next call. Now, this is a longer call. This is the conference between Manitowoc and Calumet. Give me a second to pull it up.
Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on, Jack 61.
Yep.
That actually has revealed a very important clue right there. That meant that on November the 3rd, her mailbox had already been full, right? Which meant that potentially nobody calling her after that would have received, that she could have received a message. So that means that, remember the kerfuffle that happened in the courtroom about the deletion of messages? Someone had deleted the messages.
That's right.
Right? So that's a very important cryptic clue, that by November the 3rd, when they rang up her mobile phone, her mailbox was already full. That's very interesting.
That means Mike Halbach is lying.
Yeah, someone is lying. Someone deleted calls. Someone definitely deleted calls.
Well, there's another thing at work here at play here, guys, and I can't tell you exactly. I had Singular back then, same as Teresa, and I know that other self-providers did the same thing. I'm positive that I was allowed to have 20 messages stored in memory. I could save up to 20 messages in my cell phone. And you could save them permanently and not allow deletion if you wanted, if you chose to do that. Or you could just listen to it and then delete it if you wanted, or just leave it. And then after, I think it's 14 days, but it could have been 21. I don't know. There's a certain amount of time where the older messages, unless you intentionally pushed a button, whatever it was, 7, I think, to save that message, it would get deleted. It would get removed.
I have a question. Like you have the same operator than Teresa. In 2005, it was possible, if it was possible to delete message from another device, like a
Yes.
computer, or yes?
Yes. You could, you could do it from
Okay.
your account, or you could call like from a landline, and then, but you had to put in a PIN. If you called from a landline, you'd have to put a PIN in, a PIN number,
Okay.
whatever you chose your PIN number.
Yeah.
And you could go in and delete. You could go in and go ahead.
It was possible.
Absolutely. Now, if you
So the
used go ahead.
The question is, when did Ryan Hilligus get access to her phone records on the computer? What day?
It was the 3rd. It was around 4:30 or 5 o'clock that afternoon.
Wow. Isn't that interesting?
Oh yeah.
Well,
It's really, really interesting.
it is really interesting in a number of ways, because that that he made 3 phone calls to Singular customer service that afternoon. That is not really it was not brought up at trial. Then he lied. He lied about how he got in that computer or got into her account. I'd call it to him to his face right now. You lied.
And guess a password. And guess a password.
And username.
And
No way.
And username.
No way. I don't believe it.
No way. No, it's impossible.
Wasn't it on the 2nd when Kratz about had a cow and Buting said somebody accessed her phone on the 2nd?
That's right. And yeah, he did. He looked like a deer in the headlights. Well, now if the defense is changing their theory that Teresa was alive, remember? In the courtroom?
Kratz claimed if the defense want to claim that Mrs. Halbach was still alive on the 2nd, it's something we can investigate on that, because we don't have done that. So it's crazy to say that in court.
Well, he didn't. Kratz was he was so worried about Buting and Strange talking about these phone records.
Oh yeah.
We've had a lot of discussions about that, and he was absolutely insane about that shit. So
Willis
anyway,
didn't find it relevant.
Yeah, I know. That shit's not relevant. It don't matter. Well, yeah, it does. It does matter.
That's like huge.
I would love to have the judge that's in the Murdaugh trial in the Avery trial. I would love to. He would have headlocked Fallon and Kratz. He would have just stared down, gone, I'm sure. He runs that courtroom. It's his. And in the Avery trial, he was. Absolutely, he was. I agree. So anyway, okay.
Jack 61.
Yep.
If I could just ask, so that means that there were 2 separate people that were listening to the calls, the messages on Teresa Halbach's phone. Mike Halbach and Ryan Hilligus with friends. So 2 separate people were listening to the messages on Teresa Halbach's phone.
I think so.
2 separate.
I think so.
Mike Halbach, who heard all the messages and was not questioned what was the context of the messages.
And that was the morning of the 2nd. And then, go ahead, Doc.
Correct. Which is very interesting, because guess what Alex Murdaugh did? He deleted his phone log call record.
Right.
He deleted the call record on his phone. So isn't it interesting that 2 separate parties are listening to the messages, and obviously they're tampering with the evidence. They are deleting specific calls, and the question must be, why? Why are they doing so?
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge, Tony.
Well, and another thing, I mean, this happened a little bit later, and I know you guys remember, and I'm sure that if we keep listening to these calls, it'll come up. But after Wiegert gets the phone records from Ron and sister and whatever. Anyway, he goes back to the office. Somehow, he ends up with Barb's number, but it's actually he names it as Steven's number. How'd that happen? How'd that work out? Because it wasn't Steven's number on there; it was Barb's. So, I mean, to me, he tampered with it right then and there. Anyway,
the decision was already taken to put that on Steven.
Well,
from day one.
That's the way it comes off. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, all right, this next call, and now this one's 11 minutes. This is a call between, and remember, when we first started playing the calls, they were calling officers in for this meeting with this, to have a meeting with Link. And what they're doing, they're fixing to have a conference call with Calumet County. Now, some of the voices are not quite as loud as others, but it's as loud as I can make it. So if you, hopefully you can, those out there in live chat and you guys can hear everything. Again, this is 11 minutes. So if you, I will definitely stop at least, a couple of times, but if there's something that you hear that you want to talk about, just tell me to stop. Let's play this one. All right, here we go.
Welcome to Calumet County Government. Normal courthouse hours. 1 moment, please.
You there?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay.
Another call.
I'll call you back.
All right.
No, you guys stay on. You guys stay on.
Stay on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'll call you back. Okay, we're here.
Okay. How you doing, Mark? This is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
I got Dave Remakreen with me.
Okay.
We just need a couple questions answered. When you talk to Zipper, are you the one that talked to him?
No, he's here right now. Leslie Muse here. So go ahead.
What did he say? I mean, what did you ask him? What kind of response did he give?
When I introduced myself, he basically went off in a tirade about the AutoTrader trespassing on his property, that they did not have permission to come out to his property. When I told him that we were looking for an employee that was missing, AutoTrader had called his son, or that his son was the one that was dealing with the vehicle, that his son was possibly on the way to Alaska to look for employment, and that he never had any appointment scheduled with AutoTrader. But he thought they must have been there because there was an AutoTrader magazine on the kitchen table.
What time was that, did he say?
When he saw the magazine, I don't know.
Okay.
How old is the son?
He would not give me that information, but he did tell me his name is John.
Okay.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know. You're going to check up on me now? And he goes, I want your information. I gave him mine, and I don't know what my date of birth is.
Hey, he's not a real pleasant person.
No, he's not.
We want to get a little information. We're going to go out and pay him a visit.
Yeah. He did. Then he started talking about his mean dog that eats people, and cracked open a beer while we were on the phone, and said he was going to get his attorneys. And
found the magazine on the table.
Magazine on the table.
Leslie, how did they determine that the appointment was made with George versus Sonny?
That's the name and phone number that Angela at AutoTrader gave me as far as who the appointment was scheduled with.
Son lives with George?
Talked to Mom and Dad already, obviously?
Yes.
What kind of feedback did you get from them as far as, is there a possibility she may just be gone somewhere? Or?
She's never done this before except this last early summer. She had went camping and didn't tell them. When she arrived home, they said they had words with her, and they don't believe she would ever do anything like that again. But other than that, nothing. She's got no medical history, no mental illness that we're aware of, not on any medications.
You drink?
By reading her
Fiery, yes.
Okay. One other interesting thing, when I talked to the girl from AutoTrader, she said that they had received a fax from Teresa on Monday, but they don't.
I'm going to pause it right here because they're going into a different section, it sounds like. And this whole section about Zipper, I mean, how bizarre. Number one, maybe I can get Andy B to run this through his wizard machine, but to me, I heard a bunch of cuts in this call. I heard a bunch of cuts. I'm not saying there are for sure, but I don't know. I heard that sentences being started and then click or blip, and it started to something else. And this was when Leslie Lemieux was talking. So I want to get him to analyze this call to see what the spectrum analyzer will show or whatever app he's got it he can look at this with. But the whole thing with Zipper is so bizarre. And again, Jason's his grandson, not his son. Thoughts?
Can I just make the comment? I think it's very interesting. And that is the dog, right? George Zipper's dog. He said, my dog is mean, my dog is nasty, and he's going to eat you from the legs up, right? We read the report. You know what? I reckon Kratz transposed George Zipper's dog and morphed him into Bear. Because remember what he said about Bear being real vicious, nasty, etc., etc. Except when Kratz interviewed Bobby Dassey, interrogated Bobby Dassey on the stand, and Kratz asked him, "Oh, can you tell me about the demeanor of Bear?" And Bobby Dassey said, "He's calm." Isn't it incredible that we have two dogs, George Zipper's dog and Stephen Avery's dog, and the only dog that's been described as being real mean and nasty is George Zipper's dog? I tell you what, Kratz probably transposed the behavior of George Zipper's dog onto Bear.
I agree.
Wouldn't surprise me at all, Doc. Not at all. I just found the whole incident with the Zipper is very bizarre. Cracked open a bear that's talking. He was really cantankerous with him. Again, the dog. His son's going to Alaska to look for a job, and he's a senior in high school, or the grandson is a senior in high school. It's so bizarre. It's so, to me, it's just red flaggish. I'm not saying Zipper did anything to her, any of them at all. But his behavior would certainly get my interest. I know that for sure. Anyway.
And in just a few hours, we're going to learn that they learned that Zipper was her last stop.
Yep. Right. And then the job became to make Avery the last stop.
Yeah.
That's right, Susan. Okay, I'll back this up.
Because Road was her last stop.
Well, I can't necessarily disagree with that either because of the temporary burial site that they found bones.
Yeah, or her house, because if on the 31st, if she doesn't go back home, or Ryan Hillegas at her daily planner, because he claimed to have it from Outlook. But no, it's not possible because the day planner that he gave to the police had the handwriting on Teresa from the 31st, sorry.
Yeah, I think we've pretty well put with the work that Jinx has done, we've pretty well put the day planner probably to bed. I mean, we weren't there, so we can't say with 100% positivity, but she was still in that area at her house till around 1 o'clock, and those calls had already come in. So that could have easily been left behind at her house, or she could have been nearby her house, went back, put the calendar, on her computer desk or whatever, and then left to do her rounds. So, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if the day planner is a red herring, but there's still certain things on the day planner that are odd. You know, that's for another time, but absolutely. Anyway.
If I can just mention just one thing on the day planner, on the 31, if I'm not wrong, she have a meeting with a mother at 3:30
That's right.
p.m.
She's supposed to go to her mom's to pick up something at 3:30. That's right.
And her mom doesn't see her show up, and there is nothing wrong with that. For somebody we were so close from each other.
Yeah, it goes unexplained. I don't disagree with you, Jerome. It goes unexplained for sure. Doc?
It's crazy.
I was going to say, it also implies that law enforcement had already gone to Teresa's home because they've clearly read her diary already.
That was another thing that I heard there about her diary, because there was Leslie Lemieux said he said he's going to get his lawyer, then bam, diary comes in. That's why I said it sounded like that call was edited.
Well, it's interesting because they garnished information from a diary that she drank.
Yep.
Right? So clearly they've already got her diary and gone through it.
I agree with you. And this is at 8:33, 8:32 on the night of the 3rd. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%.
When you think about it, right, it's rather remarkable that they're already obtaining personal objects and items, and there's no evidence of any crime being committed yet.
Oh, yeah, but this time, they've already been back to her house and gotten into her personal stuff. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. So don't you find it rather remarkable that without any firm evidence of a crime, that they're already in her house, they've read her diary, or does that imply that they've already found her RAV4?
Well,
yeah, they are in the rush. They are in the rush. Yeah,
well,
that's like it was not a casual person, like it was somebody really, really important, and it was maybe the case that we don't know. She was maybe a CI or I don't know, but somebody really important to the police, on the law enforcement, to be in a rush to be sure that this person has no problem, or it's look like that for me.
Well, we also have to consider, and this is just an opinion. You guys don't have to agree. The Halbachs were, well known and well liked in the community, and I won't necessarily say well-to-do, but they certainly weren't poor. So there's that aspect of it that we've seen, the effect of people with more means get more response from local authorities. That's just the fact. So there could have been more importance put on her. Remember, this blow up of all these cops. In her case, poor Christine Rudy, she gets just absolutely destroyed, and you just got a few cops around here and there. It's completely night and day.
There certainly is something. Jerome hit the nail on the head. There's certainly something not right here. Clearly, they're now what appears to be in a rush. They've already had a conference call. They're already asking all these questions. They've obviously gone through her belongings. They've read her diary. And mind you, her mum called her in missing that morning. And they've already sprung into action with no evidence of any crime taking place. To me, I agree with Jerome. They've got superior knowledge of something that they haven't disclosed.
Multiple officers on top of that. Multiple. 10, 15 Correct. Officers by this time are already involved.
Correct.
Calls made to the DCI. Probably to the prosecutor, Aurora. But there's some involvement of him a little bit later on, not on the 3rd, but we'll get to that on another night. But and I'll say this, and then I'll start the recording. We'll get to some more of this. Talking about the RAV, another point about it that I've found really a little, well, I really kind of find it odd as shit. Considering everything else that they found in the RAV, her CD player, various other pieces of her belongings and so forth, but there was no registration slip. There was no insurance card. That shit was gone, and that's the kind of thing you leave in your car all the time. When you get pulled over by a cop, you got your insurance card, got your registration slip, it's right there, boom, boom. But in this case, it's not there, and I've always found it odd.
And something other I don't understand, it's somebody had burned a phone camera, but left the CD, and left other things in the car. Why is that?
The memory card, the SD card in the back?
Yeah,
Yep.
There's the card. If you want to erase everything, you erase everything, you destroy everything. Why left some stuff like this in evidence on the passenger seats in the back?
I don't know. It's weird. It's odd. It does make, yeah, you're right. It makes no sense at all. Anyway, all right, let's get back to this recording. I'll back this up about one click here or two. That's about 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Here we go back to right there. All right, here we go.
From AutoTrader, she said that they had received a fax from Teresa on Monday, but they don't know what time. Usually it's at the end of the day when everything is complete. They have to fax in what they've all done. So they did receive a fax. She's going to get that fax from me and fax it back to me as soon as they get it, as soon as she gets to the office. Yeah, it didn't have a timestamp on it, she said. The other thing is Teresa had told one of the secretaries at AutoTrader, she had been at the Two Rivers address once upon a time before this, which I'm believing is Avery's, and that Avery had come out wearing nothing but a towel. So she thought that was kind of odd. So she had told the secretary at AutoTrader that. So that's it in a nutshell.
On that, the schedule she had for these photos, does it have a time on those?
No. What happens is when people call and want pictures done, if it's in her area, they will call her on the phone and say, can you go over here and take the picture of this thing, this whatever, and make contact with this person.
Okay, there's no like meet so-and-so at 2 o'clock or...
I'm not clear on that. I'm hoping I'll know that in a little bit when I get that fax.
Okay.
Hey, Mark?
Yeah?
Do you have the phone number for the fax that came in on?
Yeah, I'm going to be in the process of working on that as soon as I get off the phone with you.
Okay, that's probably something we're going to need for tomorrow to find out sometime, when these faxes might have come in. Maybe they get a ton of faxes in a fucking day. But you said there's no timestamp on the fax that...
No, not that they received.
Ah, that shit.
His 435 number, I'm told, came from Green Bay. A fax number of hers from Green Bay, but nobody knows that she's got a fax in Green Bay, so I don't know. But I don't know what time that was. I haven't found that out yet.
Well, if we got the number that she sent it from, that could be a sweet deal.
Yeah.
Mark, you've got the number that the fax originated from?
Yes, and it's a Green Bay number, and that's as far as I got so far.
Okay, what is the number, Mark?
It's 435-1367.
We're going to run that through Accurate, see what we can come up with.
Wonderful.
Okay. But she normally would do the fax thing at the end of her day.
Right. That's the norm. That's what their photographers all do.
Okay, so we're assuming if she got the fax sent to them, that she was done taking pictures.
That's what we assume.
On a flyer, contact Oneida Tribal, or Oneida Casino, have their security guys look through the fucking parking structure.
All right.
All right?
Do that.
What else to think?
Well, we got to kind of try to pin it down. If she had all her assignments done and faxed it in, then we can assume that she's probably not at either address that she visited here. If you want to assume anything.
Well, yeah, if we can determine that, I don't know. We'll see when we get that fax.
Is that coming tonight yet? Or?
Yeah, she went over to the office. She said it'd be about 15 minutes, which is about 10 minutes ago. So hopefully the next 5 minutes or so, she's going to call me and then fax it.
Okay.
Perfect. We don't know if that fax is the night before or the night after. We don't have a time. I don't know about the date stamp. I don't know if the time isn't on there, though, what she told me.
Okay. But it's a sure thing that she wouldn't do it if she wasn't completed with her day.
That's what the boss there tells me.
Well, we'd know from that fax, we'd know
what she
that's how she gets paid, correct? Off the fax stuff?
Well, what they do is they take the photos and then they fax a sheet in at the end of the day of everything they've done. So assuming that's how they keep track of them.
Okay, so it would be safe to say she wouldn't want to short herself, so if she got everything done at the end of the day, fax that in at the end of the day, the only fly in the ointment is, well, they know they received it on the 31st, right?
Yeah, they did receive there's an incoming phone call to her cell phone at 2:27, I believe it was, somewhere around there, on Monday.
Okay.
A 5-minute phone call that came from AutoTrader. And talking to the lady from AutoTrader, she said a lot of times what we'll do is we'll call them if we get another assignment, or if they haven't shown up for an assignment, we'll call them and see what's up. And a lot of times if they don't answer their cell phone, they'll just leave it on the voicemail. So she thinks it's probably just a voicemail message that she receives. But she won't know that till tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. He's home. Haven't come out. Yeah, kill the dog. Remember. We're getting ready to go out and talk to Mr. Zipper again.
Great.
He might be a little more cooperative. Huh? Yeah,
probably.
He may not believe us, in which case, yeah, that's good.
All right, when I get that fax or when I talk to the lady, I'll call John back on his cell phone and let him know what we can learn from that fax.
Okay, Mark, incidentally, we've tried to get DCI to ping the phone with no results. The phone's turned off.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, they probably wouldn't be able to do it anyway, just because of the cellular equipment, singular equipment.
All right.
Okay, she have no boyfriends or?
No boyfriends. She's got a lot of friends in Green Bay. No boyfriends, though, that anybody's aware of.
Never missed work before?
Not that we know of. She works, she does the stuff for AutoTrader, and then she's also a freelance photographer. At AutoTrader, she's been a good employee.
But she doesn't work every day?
No, it varies. Depends on the demand. She was supposed to work today and did not show up or did not keep appointments, apparently.
Always comes into the office or whatever it is before she goes out on assignment?
The office is actually in Milwaukee. They always usually have phone contact with her so that they know that she's going to do the appointments or that they give her the appointments over the phone.
Okay, today would she have had appointments and went out on them without calling in?
Doubtful, usually not the case. They would know if she made the appointments, apparently.
Okay. Anything else right now, or? Okay.
I'll call you guys back on John's cell when I hear from AutoTrader lady.
All right.
Okay?
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, for me, I mean, there's several interesting points in that. Probably the two biggest ones that jump out at me is that they're saying that there's, and he's talking to Angela Schuster. She was the, I guess, the next level up boss at AutoTrader. She's telling Wiegert that there's no timestamp on that fax, which I've sent and received many faxes, and it's never happened. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just saying I've never seen it.
And there was indeed a timestamp, right?
There was, yes.
Right.
And
so
and the number 2 point for me is this alleged conversation between Don Pliska and Teresa. He's being relayed information that this is probably just a voicemail and not a conversation. I found that really interesting. That I'm not saying that things don't get fucked up and jumbled, in the beginning of an investigation, but that's a pretty big mistake. I would, and it's not been that long. It's not like we're talking about months ago. This was recent. That this wouldn't have been related. This was an actual phone conversation. Anyway, those two things jumped out at me.
It was 5 minutes. That's a long time.
I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
question.
Yep.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I remember that somebody from the DCI was working on AutoTrader on cover for AutoTrader. Tell me if I'm wrong, but
Kathy what was her name?
Williford.
Yeah.
yeah. So if you take that, it seems impossible that Teresa was working for the DCI, and that's why they were in the rush.
Yeah, I don't know. There is
no, it's too much.
I mean, there is some weirdness about the Williford thing. I think we're missing information. I don't know, Jerome. I don't know.
Because if Teresa was working for the DCI and there is a setup directly from the state, the DCI can do anything. Can do anything they want to set up everything. The investigation, the lawsuit, to stop the lawsuit, they are able to do everything because it comes ready from the highest point of the pyramid. So if they were so afraid about what happens to Teresa, and this is maybe because she was a DCI agent. I don't know. I don't have proof to claim that point or to verify this point. But if she was working for the DCI, they have all the power to do what they want. And
they wield a heavy sword. There's no doubt. I don't know. She made the claim that her family was getting a little bit older and she wanted to step away from her duties at the DCI. So she left there and went to work as this freelance photographer. I don't know. Considering
it's a good cover, it's a really good cover to be a photographer when you work for the CIA or for the DCI. It's a really good cover.
It is. I just don't know. I still think we're missing.
I don't know either.
I mean, there's a 7 or 8 minute call later on. I think it's around the 8th or the 10th. I can't remember. We've got it though, where Detective Jacobs from the MTSO calls Kathy Williford, and she talks about it. But I don't know. I think we're missing a good chunk here. I don't know what everybody else thinks, but that's what I think. I can't say for sure that she was undercover, but damn, it would be. It's just damned odd to me.
But something for sure, I think that Stephen was under surveillance. I'm sure Stephen was under surveillance.
I'm sure. Well, at that point in time, actually, I think he probably became under real scrutiny once he filed the federal. Well, once he filed the federal lawsuit in 2004, I have no doubt.
I'm talking about the lawsuit. I'm sure that the Manitowoc police department had put somebody on Stephen to check if if he's doing something wrong, they can use it against him. So
Yeah.
if you put all these dots together and you have somebody, if you have Stephen all the time under surveillance, if you have Teresa being a CI or working for the DCI and she's found dead in her house, the police receive this information, it go directly at the DCI. The DCI know what happened, and they came to Manitowoc to cover everything.
Well,
I can, sorry, Jack. Yeah, I can agree, Jerome. I think Stephen was being watched. More so, maybe not necessarily when he got released, but when he put in for that lawsuit for $36 million, that's when I think he was starting to be watched. And I've always had that feeling, since I've watched Ma'am as well, I've had that feeling that Stephen was being watched because they just jumped to the gun too quick. And not only that, that Kathy was also at the salvage yard with Chanel.
he was there one time, and it was middle of the winter. It was cold, and Stephen invited her to come in and step in because it was so bitter cold outside, and she declined.
Yeah, so why is she turning up? You know, especially if he's no phoned up for a picture to be taken, a car or anything like that.
Oh, but he did. Yeah, there was a car he wanted photographed.
Right. Well, that's maybe different, but no, I still think that he was being watched.
Well, that's just the thing. If she's really not quit from the DCI, she's went undercover, and the cover was she's taking this this little side job being a freelance photographer. It is a good cover, but for her to end up on the salvage yard, I don't know. It's just weird to me. It's a really strange coincidence, but that's all I can put to it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes coincidence happen.
Yeah, but one like this, I have a really hard time with him, Jerome. A really hard time.
Yeah, but I try to, I think, and I try to say what I think, to try to go home and try to find the real reason why she was killed, and or maybe not, she was maybe not killed, she maybe died from a disease, we don't know,
or self-harm.
Yeah,
we've not talked too much about that because it's that's a trigger for a lot of people, and but certainly there was nothing that we could tell from her life that there's not.
There is a lot of people who suicide every day in the world, who suicide themselves every day, and it was maybe a suicide, or something else, or it's difficult to talk about that because we don't know. But
yeah, well, I mean, we talked about actually it's not been too long ago. I think on Reading with the Crew, and one of Doc and Neverly's one of the chapters, talking about these boudoir photos that Teresa had began taking. And I don't think anybody here, we're all adults, I don't think anybody here thinks any less of Teresa. She's just trying to make money to pay her bills. I mean, that's what we get from it. And this was just part of taking photos, that's part of her business. But could she have run across people that were unsavory, as it were?
Oh yeah, I agree, because this is the way we look at her, like this. But in reality, we don't know anything about her. Anything.
No. Pretty well cleaned up. Pretty well whitewashed. Anyway, So, if there's nothing else about the conference call, yeah, go ahead, Doc.
Excuse me if I talk a lot, but I'm really passionate, and
it's okay, Jerome. It's fine.
Can I just mention, on that conference call, did they mention about the towel incident involving Stephen Avery?
No.
Did they mention a towel?
No, it was not talked about. Not yet.
Yes, they did.
I thought they did. Yeah,
Maybe
I thought they meant.
Well, my daughter walked in there for a second. My daughter walked in for a second. Maybe I missed it. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I apologize. I missed it.
Isn't that interesting? And Jerome is 100% correct. Because if they had done a proper victimology on Teresa Halbach, they would have definitely known that Ryan Hilligus was an ex-boyfriend. And so they really missed it, because in that conference call, they said, were there any ex-boyfriends? Oh, not that we know of. Excuse me, the ex-boyfriend just happened to be there that Sunday night looking at Teresa Halbach on her computer, and he got a free pass. Shocking.
They didn't say ex. They said, does she have any boyfriends?
Yeah, I know. But the ex was still hanging around.
Right?
I don't see the difference. If you ask, she have a boyfriend, you need to mention Ryan Hilligus, because she was with her for 5 years, and he was really important in her life. And from the FBI, 93% of the people who are killed are killed from somebody close from them. So
I absolutely agree, but Ryan didn't think it was, important to let him know that he was her ex.
And I'm like you, he should have told them immediately.
Yeah, because he was the first to involve himself in the research, so in the case. And people we involve themselves in this kind of case, it's sometimes, not always, but sometimes the perpetrator.
Yeah, that's right, Jerome, because we had a case like that here in the UK. 2 young girls went missing, and it was the caretaker that
he was talking about her in the past time. I remember.
All over the news, putting it, please help us, everything like that, and he was the one that done it. So yeah, that kind of thing does happen. But not only that, you've got to remember that he moved into the house the day after, or on the day that she was reported missing. He moved into her house.
He moved.
I think it was the 4th.
Yeah, but not only that, he what was the other thing?
He was the center of everything. He was the guy who organized the research. He was the guy
that did the searches. Yeah,
the searches. Sorry, but English is not perfect. But he was really.
Sorry, Jerome, on you go.
No, I say he was really the man to. He say himself, I was the guy to contact. To if somebody have information, because I am directly connected with Jerry Pagel, and if somebody has some information, call me. So that's huge.
Yeah, completely. But not only that, the other thing I was thinking of as well, if they'd done an investigation properly, they would have also found out that she was supposed to photograph at a wedding, and because Ryan Hilligus was going to be at that wedding, she asked somebody else to cover it. I think it was Tom. I think she asked to actually cover that wedding because she didn't want to do it because Ryan Hilligus was going to be there.
Yeah, correct.
Yep, agree. Well, he also had control of the website for the later on of the obituary. There were,
Yeah,
you know,
he's the one who mentioned that somebody had write something horrible on the website on one
well,
of the phone calls.
they got calls from on
Yeah,
at
I know.
Calumet. Yeah, they got calls at Calumet, you know, about these comments that were really pretty nasty, and he already knew about it, you know, and he removed it, you know.
I know.
And I don't know. I have a real problem with Ryan personally. I'm not saying he did anything, but he lied multiple times. He lied by omission multiple times. He lied on the stand, my opinion, of course, multiple times about how he did things. 21, 22 dropped calls, blocked calls within a very short amount of time on his cell phone record, which was really unusual looking at his cell record. That we have no idea where those calls originated. There's just a number of things that I have a real problem with, and that's me. That's my opinion. So, all right, we got time to play a few more before we knock out. I don't want to keep everyone here all night. It's Saturday night, so but let's unless there's more questions about the conference. This next call is what did I write down here? Coburn calls in to talks to Remaker about the zippers. Okay. All right. Let me get this over here. This is a 2-minute call, and this happened apparently after their meeting at 8:40. So this is right afterwards. So here we go.
Remember? Hi, it's going to be Andy when I hang up, Dave.
All right.
Thank you, bye.
You bet. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dave.
Yep.
Lights are on at Zipper's house. His car's sitting outside. I can't quite see what it is, but it seems to be a passenger car.
Okay.
Sitting out in front of the garage.
Okay.
I didn't make contact. I hate to drive by too many times.
Sure.
It's a little white shack, detached one-car garage, just south of 310
Okay.
on B.
Just south of 310 on the east or west side?
It's east side.
East side.
Yep.
Okay.
Right across from that New Hope Church.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. All right.
Maybe check with Jim and see, is there someplace else he wants me to check, or does he want me to come back in, and what does he want to do?
Let me check with him. They're on a conference call with another detective in Cal County. Let me check with them and see what they want to do.
Okay.
Hang on one second.
Sure.
You don't want a uniform out there anyway? You don't want a uniform anyway?
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
I think we're going to take a ride out there shortly.
Okay.
So if you want to kind of stay 1060.
Okay, I tell you what, I'm going to sit in that. It used to be a bank, now it's an insurance agency right on the corner of 310 and R. Roberts. I'll be in the parking lot.
310 and B? Okay, gotcha.
310 and B, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, bye.
Bye.
So Coburn's out there sniffing around. And of course we know, let's see what else I've got here. I can't recall.
If I can, Jack.
Please.
Something I just figured out now, that's Ryan mentioned the broken light of Teresa, but he is not able to give the right color of the car.
That is interesting.
It doesn't make any sense. He make mention of the broken light of Teresa's car, so it's a bluish car, but in the missing poster and everywhere on the media, he never said, no, it's not a dark green Toyota, it's a bluish one. Never?
Yeah, I think all the missing person posters said green or dark green. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the car is bluish, not green or dark green. And he never mentioned that, but
Nope.
he mentioned the light, the light broken on her car.
Yeah,
And he's not able to give the right color of the car.
As I remember, that was, of course, that was after the fact. I can't remember what day this report from, I believe it's, I'm sure it was Fassbender wrote that he talked to Ryan to find out, and Ryan came back with this trumped up story that Teresa had, he talked to family and friends and that Teresa had wrecked her car and had taken the insurance payout instead of getting her car, and didn't get her car fixed. She just kept the money. But there's no record of that anywhere. And
no, so we know that he lied about that too.
That's right. And Fassbender being a state agent, you might expect maybe an inexperienced local officer not to follow up. But Fassbender is an experienced veteran state agent, and he didn't follow up. He just took his word for it.
He didn't follow up. No, he doesn't. He don't want follow up.
Well, yeah, I agree with you. But that again, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier when we first started into this. Some of this is really sloppy work. It's really bad. And I don't like saying that about a cop. I don't. But
no. But it was maybe made by purpose.
Well, maybe
it was a sloppy job made by purpose. Because there was something more important than we think. It was more political or...
Oh, definitely. Definitely, but the political end of it.
I really think that there is some pieces we don't have access who can explain everything.
I definitely would agree with that. There's no doubt. There's still pieces I'm trying to get now, and others are trying to get that we still don't have. Many DCI reports, photographs, interviews of audio tapes of interviews that they've tried to keep really off the record as much as they can. There's one I'm trying to get right now. I've been trying to get it for 6 months. I still haven't gotten it. ODOC got a few that he's been trying to get longer than that. Still hadn't got it. Getting the runaround. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Well, we talked a little bit about, before I played this one, many of you have heard me talk about the Earl Avery interview. We did talk about it. All the redactions that were, I tried to get, I specifically went back after I got this FOIA that had Earl's interview. I went back specifically and said, I want the unredacted interview. And the excuse said, well, they had to redact because of laws, blah, 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 this. Of course, I don't know what the content of what they're saying had to be redacted. Short of them talking about, some child, and that has to be redacted, but there's no reason given at all. Just we redact it. Another one that the redacted part of was Brian Dassey's. There's so can't get that one either.
But there sometimes they are waiting 8 years for make a report about something. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of DCI reports that are written. The report actually gets finalized months after the fact. So anyway, all right, this next one. Let's move on to this next one. This is, I think this is Jacobs, is what I wrote down. He calls looking for an after hours number to SBC, and that's a security. And this is where Jacobs, I don't think I captured all of it in what we're going to listen to tonight, but what Jacobs was doing, he's trying to bypass getting a warrant for phone records. That's exactly what he's doing. But we'll listen to this. I think this is a number of calls that are Yeah, there's actually about 2 or 3 calls here that are clumped together, so we'll get through them. I don't think they're like super long. Here's the first one. And this was at, 21:14. That's 9:14 at night, 9:14 p.m. So let's take a listen.
Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department, this is Lynn.
Hey, Lynn,
Yes?
do you guys have an after-hours number for SBC, like an emergency number?
I can go look in our call-out thing here, okay?
If you could.
Yeah, hang on here.
One 567?
Well, I'm going to give you a phone number, but I can't guarantee that it's after hours or anything. This one is 888-611-2344.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks.
Sure. Bye-bye, Dennis.
Okay, that's part 1. What the heck?
Can I say something about the bones?
Please go ahead.
That's something I was thinking. When they discover all the bones, some are humans and some are animal, right?
That's correct.
Okay. They all have the same level of cremation, right?
Well, Doc will barely be the one to talk about that.
But I think so. So that means that the person who have burned Teresa's body in the same time had burned a deer, a chicken. Because we have both. We have human bones and animal bones.
Yes, that's correct.
And they are all at the same level. You see what I mean?
If I could just quickly comment, Jerome, because unfortunately I have to leave. When Eisenberg described the cremains, there were both burnt and unburnt bones. I'm talking about the animal bones. So in Yonder Burn Barrel number 2, that's when Bobby Dassey said that's where they normally burn the deer carcasses. Now, I really don't know whether the cremains were burnt to the same degree, but Jerome is correct. There were both burnt and unburnt animal bones. I know that there were some in Yonder Burn Barrel number 2. There are probably some animal bones in the burn pit as well. And I'm not 100% sure because Eisenberg didn't want to commit to the bones in the Manitowoc County gravel pit. So there is, the point I'm trying to get at, there were burnt and unburnt animal bones. Thank you.
Yeah, that answers your question, Jerome.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you, Tony. But in the same times, that means then now we have somebody possibly who have burned the body of Teresa in the same times of the bones of a deer or another animal. And for me, it's against really weird, really strange.
It is strange.
I agree. I do agree. In actual fact, that's the perfect way to cover up burning Teresa Halbach, because she was dismembered and cut up into pieces. So if you co-burn her remains with animal remains, no one's going to really be asking any types of questions about smell or a burning. You can just simply say, hey, look, I've got an animal carcass here, I'm just disposing it. So yeah, it tends to suggest that Teresa Halbach, her remains were likely co-burnt in the same vessel as an animal. I do agree, Jerome.
But in the same times, to
It
dismember
could be.
somebody, you need to have some knowledge to do that.
Correct. And it's a
You need
real
to have a
pity.
place to do that.
Oh, correct. And it's a real pity that Dr. Eisenberg didn't really analyze the cremains at a deeper level, to examine them microscopically, to look at the bones immunologically to determine if they were really animal or human bones. It really was a very shocking investigation, but the mere fact that you found human bones, burnt human bones in Yonder burn barrel number 2, Jerome, is very, very telling indeed. And guys, I do have to leave, unfortunately, but loving the discussion, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you so much, guys.
Just one quick question before, and you can answer this with a really simple, Doc. How simple would it have been for Eisenberg to cut a bone and said human or animal?
Very simple. All she had to do was cut one. In fact, she didn't even have to cut one of the bones, Jack 61, because the bones had already got cut marks in them. All Eisenberg had to do is place them under a microscope and have a look at them at a deeper forensic level. Because she knows the difference between an animal and a human bone. Animal and human bones have got a different internal anatomy. They're different. The structure is different. Also, she could have given the one bone to the FBI, who could have done immunological analysis. In other words, what they do is they bind animal antibody and human antibody to the bones. And if the animal antibody binds with stronger affinity than the human one, guess what? The bone is very likely animal. If the human antibody binds stronger than the animal, guess what? It's human. She failed to do it. It's shocking. It's not a very good analysis at all, unfortunately. But we already know that, right, Jack 61?
That's right. So basically a very simple test.
Oh, very simple, yes. If she couldn't perform it, she could have given it to the FBI or to a laboratory that did. And here's the irony. That's exactly what they did in the Christine Rudy case. They looked the bones under the microscope, and they also did immunological testing, because remember, Dr. Eisenberg made a critical mistake.
Yes.
She thought they were fetal bones. They weren't, they were animal. And they did the immunological assay to determine that the bones that they found in, I think it was a small burn pit at the Rudy household, were indeed animal, not human.
Thank you, Doc.
After they found the fetus.
That's correct.
Inside of her.
Yeah. That's 100% correct. So that's very embarrassing.
Terrible. Hey, Doc, thanks so much for coming and helping us and answering questions.
No, pleasure.
I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So, all right. So continuing on, this next call, and I'm pretty sure I don't know if I listened to all this, but this is a series of calls that's all wrapped up into one longer call. If there's points that I can skip here, I will. This is an 18-minute call. This is likely, we're right at 3 hours. So this is probably going to be the last call we do. I didn't get quite all the way through there with the list that I'd selected. I wasn't sure if we would or not, but again, this is an interesting thing that he did to try to get phone records without a warrant. And so let's listen to this. And if you need to interrupt me before I pause it, then please just tell me and I'll stop. All right, here we go.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be complete. Please check the...
Hello, welcome to the SBC Repair. For repair to your telephone service, press 1. For information or repair of caller ID or SBC voicemail, press 2. To speak to our business office, to place an order, or to discuss your bill, press 3. If you are a contractor or other utility and are calling to report that you have damaged SBC facilities, press 4. To discuss the outside telephone wiring serving your home or business, press 5. For all questions regarding SBC dish, press 6. To repeat this information, press star. Please hold while your call is being transferred to the next available repair representative. Calls are randomly monitored or recorded to ensure the quality of our service. If you have DSL service on your line, please be aware that we may need to conduct testing that may interfere with using your data service.
Thank you for calling SBC Repair. My name is Katie. May I have the area code and number you're reporting?
Hi, Katie. My name is Dennis Jacobs. I'm a detective with the Sheriff's Department here. I'm trying to get through to your security people.
Okay.
Is there any way that you can give me a number or transfer me or something?
Okay, and Dennis, do you have a callback number?
Yeah, it's 920-683-4215.
Okay, and you're with what,
Manitowoc County, Wisconsin, Sheriff's Department.
just 1 minute. Dennis, is this a number you can be reached right back at?
Yeah, that 920 number I just gave you.
Okay.
That's
Just for
my office.
verification purposes, I'll need to disconnect the call and hang up and call you right back, and then I can get you over there, okay?
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Detective Jacobs.
Hi, Dennis.
Yep.
Hi, this is Katie with SBC Repair.
Yes, Katie.
Okay, I have a number for you.
Okay, go ahead.
1-800-832-2998.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks again for calling SBC. Have a good evening.
All right, bye-bye.
That's security now.
We're sorry. You must first dial...
You have reached Asset Protection. Please hold. Your call is being transferred.
SBC Security, what's your emergency?
My name is Dennis Jacobs. I'm a detective with Manitowoc County, Wisconsin, Sheriff's
Jack, can we
Department.
pause?
We have a missing adult, and we have...
Yep.
Andy B is saying she went to Avery's first is in the background of that call. I didn't hear that.
I could hear stuff in the background, but I was distracted when I heard the voices. I can back up a little bit and we can recover.
You know,
re-listen.
that would be shortly after they had been back to zippers.
Yeah, if you can go back and like this, we can check.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to hear it.
I'll back up. Let's go. I'll do 20 seconds.
SBC Security, what's your
I would
emergency?
like to thank everybody.
My name is
in the
Dennis
chat,
Jacobs. I'm a
everybody
detective with
involved
Manitowoc County,
in this
Wisconsin,
case,
Sheriff's
to
Department.
look for justice.
We have a missing adult,
And don't forget,
and we have a
never
phone
give
number
up. Never
that
give
she
up.
made a
Even
fax
if
from.
it's a
but
lost
cannot.
cause,
We're
if you
just
think it's a
trying to
lost
verify
cause,
the phone.
don't give up. Stay on it, because it's really important. Maybe not for, it's not important for us. It's important for the victim and the victim's family.
Well, for all involved, and we won't give up. In for a penny, in for a pound, and I'm not going to stop unless I'm forced to stop digging. And
I know.
so I think I need to back up further, Susan. I don't think I got it. I didn't hear anything in the background. Let me back up a little further. All right, let's try this again. Maybe I'm back up far enough this time.
2998.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks again for calling SCC. Have a good evening.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's security now.
We're sorry. You must first dial a...
You have reached asset protection. Please hold. Your call is being transferred.
SCC Security, what's your emergency?
My name is Dennis Jacobs. I'm a detective with Manitowoc County, Wisconsin, Sheriff's Department. We have a missing adult, and we have a phone number that she made a fax from, but cannot. We're just trying to verify the phone number and where it is.
Are you requesting a listing, sir?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you requesting a listing?
If possible.
This is an emergency.
Yeah, she's 25 and has disappeared.
Okay, because I have to let you know they may require paperwork on this.
Okay, that's not a problem. I can get a subpoena in the morning.
Okay. Can you spell your last name for me, sir?
It's Jacobs, Jacobs.
Okay, and your call back to the department?
Yeah, it's 920-683-4215.
That's 4215?
Yes.
Okay, and the number you have, you need the listing on?
920-435-1367.
Okay. Let me access the system, sir, and I'll give you a call right back.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Detective Jacobs.
Hi, SCC Security calling back?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, that number 920-435-1367
Correct.
is showing disconnected on our end.
Okay.
But I can give you the last known address for it.
Go ahead.
It's 215 South Quincy.
Okay.
This is apartment 3.
Do you have a name to go with that?
The last known person that had that number would have been a Michael. Last name used in syllables.
Okay.
Dan, space D-E-N, space H as in Harry, U-V-E-L.
Give me the last one again.
Sorry, H as in Harry, the letter E, U as in user, V as in victory, E-L as in Larry.
Vanden Heuvel, I think.
I believe so. You're just good as mine, sir.
Well, I know there's a registered sex offender by that name because I arrested him.
Oh, good. I'm glad you know. Very good.
Yeah, it's an ugly business sometimes. Can you tell me when it was disconnected?
It said last month.
Okay, that would make sense because the last communication we had with her was a fax that she sent from that number a couple minutes after midnight on the 31st.
Wish
Okay.
you luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you going to need paper on this?
Our day shift, we don't take care of it on this shift. Day shift usually calls for that.
Okay, so they may call me.
Yes.
Well, if you want to leave a note, then I'm off tomorrow. So,
Okay.
well, maybe.
All right. Great.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I'll pause it right here for a second and talk about.
What?
I didn't hear that part about. I'm sorry.
I just say, wow, what he said after midnight on the 31st?
Yeah, from
He
this fax
says the
number.
fax was sent on the just after midnight on the 31st.
That's right.
That means she was still alive on the
Well,
time.
well, see here's where the thing is. If it came from that number that's programmed into that fax machine, and we know that that fax machine time is off, it's incorrect.
Okay.
So that would skew the whole timeline. That's been a big problem for us, and this goes back to the beginning, way back when we found out.
Yeah, JD's saying the fax after midnight on the 31st was Sunday AM, not Monday the 1st.
Correct. That means that she was still alive at this time.
Yeah.
But,
No.
but
But
again,
she
the
didn't
time
go-
is off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's before she even goes to work on Monday.
Yeah, I was say that, Susan. Yeah, that's before, because she didn't go to the salvage yard until 2:30, between 2:20 and 2:30. So if she said that just after midnight, that's just going in to the 31st. So it still would have been the 31st.
I got.
Yeah, the time being off on that fax machine really skews the timeline like really bad. And we went through this so many times way back. But the thing is, him being able to call anyway without anything more than just being identified as a cop, a detective, and get this information, at least in 2005, I think is I don't know. I have a problem with it. I just do. And I'm not saying he wasn't trying to find out good information, but go ahead.
Yeah. Couple of things. Andy B says that bit that he heard was at the beginning of the call. So know for where you played it from. It was right at the beginning. He says near the beginning. But Hugh Fraser.
Of the entire call. Yeah, where he misdialed. I think it's probably
Toward the beginning.
Part.
Yeah, toward the beginning. Yeah. I didn't go back far enough.
Yeah,
Right.
and Hugh says in chat, thinking about the Teresa Halbach and Kathy Williford common history with AutoTrader, is anything known of AutoTrader's replacement for Teresa in Teresa's sales territory, e.g. what the clients were saying about Stephen Avery?
I don't know who replaced her. Or maybe somebody else does. And I don't know of any other commentary that may have been said from the other clients. No, I don't know of anything.
I never heard she was replaced. Never.
I'm sure they assigned somebody, to her territory. I can't imagine they wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, but I never heard about that.
No, neither did I. Of course, later on, it became so much easier. They made it easier for people to just take their own photo and send it to AutoTrader and get it listed. So I think that position was not entirely done away with in the beginning because some people didn't know how to take a photo and transfer it digitally through their whatever process they had set up, email or whatever. But some people did. So I'm sure they had photographers for a while, but I don't think they do now.
Jade's asking, didn't the police do a fax test?
They did. And that was the morning of November 5th when Pam Stern and Nicole showed up late. Poggle and I don't know who was with him went to do this test of the fax machine. That's correct.
And the map provided to Pam Stern for the salvage yacht was never used. Never.
And borrowed a camera.
Yeah.
given Poggle's cell phone number.
Yeah, the same. How can you explain that? Because you know much better your system than I. So how can you explain all this behavior?
I can't. I cannot. I can't explain the behavior of Ryan. Him knowing that Teresa stopped there on the 5th, and why that search area was not already assigned prior to Nicole and Pam Stern getting there. That should have been one of the first ones they assigned people to. Hey, can you go down to the Avery's and ask them to let you search? But that, I mean, we were told that didn't happen, but I don't know that I believe it. And the reason I don't necessarily believe it is because they caught her five friends on the property. So how the hell did they get there? It was never really explained.
No, I don't believe it either, Jack. Know with the amount of motors that was on that salvage yard, and they go down the road a few feet, check a few rows, about what, maybe 20 cars in a row, 10, 20 cars in a row, check the first few rows just before the berm, and then all of a sudden the halos are flashing and the lights are shining, and you know, God fucking pointed her in the direction of the RAV, you know. No way did she find that car in 20 minutes without knowing that it was there or something was there. She's been pointed in that direction, or go towards the barn or something like that. And as we say, she was the only one that had a camera, but she was also supposed to be a PI. So why is she asking if she can open the doors in the car as well? And then she's telling, no. You know,
she knows better. She knows better.
Yeah, she knows better. Exactly, Jack. You know what I mean? There is too many holes and things put in place too easily for it not to be planted. No matter who's planted it, whether it was cops, whether it was Ryan, whether it was whoever. It's too staged, in my opinion. You know, go here, here's a camera, take a few pictures because it's up there on the berm. As we say, she's got the direct line to Pagel and everything like that. It just doesn't make sense, and it's never made sense. And how it's got as far as it's got is unbelievable.
I think she was used. Like you guys, I think that to me, the story is, when a story becomes, I don't know the right word. I'm not a wordsmither. Probably Susan can think of a better word. But the story seems concocted to me. It doesn't seem to have a natural flow to it. It raises questions. And even she questioned the color of the car, of the RAV. She questioned it. Remember in the call?
Yeah.
If we keep going through these calls, we're going to hear it.
She said, "Can you give me the exact type of color of the car?"
It's weird. It's weird because it's blue.
She says, I don't know if I'm looking at the right one because this one's a kind of bluish green, and then this is why the whole 2 RAV scenario came up, is because the mother and everything like that said it was a dark green. It was on the missing posters that it was a dark green. The photo that you see her standing in front of standing at the side of the car looks green. But the one that was on the salvage yard with the pictures and everything like that looks blue. But as we've done our research and everything like that, that was due to the paint that it was painted with And in certain lights, it could look green or it could look blue because it was a mystic teal or something like that it was called.
Mystic
So,
Teal-Mica.
and I've seen,
Mystic
yeah,
Teal-Mica.
yeah, exactly, Jack. And there's a car that goes about Pennycook, and it's like a pinky colour, but when the sun in that's out, it looks like a light purpley pinky colour. You know, so I know that does happen. You can get paint that does look like that, but this is how the two RAV scenario come up, is because there's that many different descriptions of the bloody supposedly the one car.
Right.
You know, even her finding it's gone, well, it's bluish green, can you give me the right colour? You know?
Yeah, and she wanted she wanted the full VIN number too, and he wouldn't give it to her.
And in plus, if you are looking for a dark green Toyota, why you are calling the police if you find a blue one? I don't get it.
Yep. All right. So anyway, you know, getting back to this call and what he's doing, then this is Jacobs, of course. And you know, another thing, and I won't comment too far on this, but you think about all these things that he's doing in relation to the case, but we don't have any reports from him. Why the fuck not? Pardon my French. Seriously, why the hell not? Why didn't he write a report about his activities of what he's doing? At least there's no public report that we have. I'm not saying he didn't write one and hand into Remaker or one of the...
Something that Dave Begokta had told me, he thinks that Jacobs is the key of everything.
Well, he's certainly busy behind the scenes. I know that. Really busy. Really busy.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
But it's Dave Toast about Dennis Jacob. But he told me, if you want to find the truth, I think you need to go deeper in Dennis Jacobs, because he is the key of almost everything in this case.
Well, I know Jinx was up in his ass. She went round and round with him. Anyway, all right, let's get back to this call, and then we'll get wrapped up. I don't want to keep everybody here all night. Looks like we've got a little bit more of this call to play, so let's listen to a little bit more.
Oh, sure.
Oh, Pete.
Yeah.
County County Sheriff's Department.
Hey, is Mark Wiegert around?
I can check. Who's calling?
This is Dennis Jacobs from Manitowoc County.
Hold on.
I have his cell phone.
Sure, hold on, please.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I got a hold of Meritech or SBC Security.
Okay.
I got a name.
Okay, hold on one. All right, go ahead.
Michael, and it looks like it's Vanden Heuvel. It's V-A-N, then capital D-E-N, and the last name spelling is Henry Edward Union Victor Edward Lincoln.
Okay, Vanden Heuvel.
I got an address, which is 215 South Quincy, apartment number 3. That's a Green Bay. Green Bay.
Okay.
And if you give me a second, I'm going to run them through Accurate. That phone would have been disconnected at the first of the month.
Okay, because the fax comes from that phone number on the 31st.
Right, but it would have been canceled at the first on either at midnight, or November 1st.
Oh, that's freaking weird.
Well, I got him. Looks like he was born in 19... Either 63 or 53. I got a 71 here too. From Vanden Heuvel. I got one in Green Bay, a Michael J, who was born in 71.
Okay.
That's probably going to be, I got one that was born in 77. But he's living in Seymour. I'm trying to match up the address.
Well, the way it looks from AutoTrader, she faxed her last stuff in on the 31st at 12:13 a.m. I believe. It's a 0013 from the beginning at 12:13 a.m.
Right.
And then she goes out the next day and makes and does those other appointments, and then that's the last we hear from her.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have GD go over to Quincy and see who's living there and see what they can tell me.
Yeah.
Okay.
215 South Quincy, apartment 3.
Got it.
But if the phone got disconnected on the 1st, he might have also moved out.
Yeah, that's very possible. I'll do some checking on that end.
Mark, do the parents know any of her friends by name?
None of them. She's got a lot of friends from when she went to college in Green Bay. The parents don't know really any of them, is what they told me.
Well, we got one here. Let me give you the information I have, because he's probably the most likely one, I would think. His middle initial is J. John.
Okay.
And DOB is 0415 of 77.
Okay.
That's that's the youngest one of the bunch here. She was born in 80. Otherwise, our choices are 54, 44, 31, 49. Not likely, I would think.
I would think not.
Could be the youngest one.
According to Mom and Dad, she doesn't have a boyfriend?
No boyfriend that they're aware of. No. According to friends, she doesn't have a boyfriend.
None of the friends have seen her, obviously, huh?
No.
Does she have a good friend, best friend, girlfriend?
There were two of her, what I believe have been her best friends from the area here, and they haven't heard from her, seen her. Also state that they don't believe she had a boyfriend.
Okay. Mark, what's your cell phone number?
418-4087.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to get a hold of Green Bay and see if they can run over there and see if we can find anything else.
Sounds good.
I'll let you know.
All right, thanks. All right. You want me? Mark? No.
Hi, it's Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Jack, pause that a
was the girl
second.
home at all
JD's
Sunday
picked
night?
up on something. JD's picked up on something.
Yep. What is it?
It's taking you back it up a wee bit. According to Bobby Dassey, no boyfriend.
Say that again. According to Bobby Dassey.
Bobby
And
Dassey. No.
Bobby can have this information. Because if you listen well, Teresa was really secret about her sex life, because we know then she was in a lot of relationship.
How far?
She was.
I'm sorry, Jerome. Go ahead.
Yeah, and she don't talk about that with a friend. According a friend, if the police ask them if she has a boyfriend or a girlfriend or something like this, and they claim no, that means that Teresa was really secret about her life, and her intimacy, because we know that Teresa was really sexually active.
Yeah, I mean, we found out a little bit about, this extramarital, well, it's extramarital for him, this affair she had with, what was his name, Brad?
Bradley Check.
Yeah. And then
Bradley Check, yeah.
And then her attraction to this Wes Bunnell, which was Amanda Bunnell, the records custodian for Calumet, her brother. He was mentioned in her diary, but other than that, there's really not much at all talked about. You're right.
Yeah, I agree. But in this call and in our other call and the call from her mother, they claim she has no boyfriend, she's not engaged in nothing. And we know it's not true.
That's true. That's right. So how far do I need to go back? They know how far I need to go back?
He says, they just said on tape, according to Bobby D, no boyfriend. Last, say, 30 seconds. So maybe back it up.
Okay, I'll go back, 30 would be 6. I'll go back 8 times. That's 40 seconds.
Right.
We'll see if that's enough. All right, hold on. Here we go.
Okay, I'm going to get a hold of Green Bay and see if they can run over there and see if they can find anything else.
Sounds good.
I'll let you know.
All right, thanks. All right, you want my Mark? Go.
Hi, it's Mark. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Was the girl home at all Sunday night?
When was the last time she was seen at home? Let me look here. She lives with a roommate, and they just kind of pass each other in the hall.
Oh, okay. See, we thought, John said she lived at home.
No, she does not live at home.
Okay.
She was last seen at the house.
At her parents' house?
Oh, no, at her house at 2
Okay.
p.m. roughly.
On Monday?
Right. No, on Sunday.
Okay.
But she's seen in York County on Monday.
Right. But my thought is, on this guy with the phone being disconnected, he probably moved. He got disconnected at the end of the month. It's an apartment building. He probably moved.
Well, that's possible. The only weird thing is if you look at the timeline, with when that fax comes in, that's early in the morning on Monday.
On the 31st.
Right. Then she goes out and does her business, and the last place, or the last phone call, basically, outside of her voicemail is Mr. Zipper.
Right. Well, I guess my question is, the roommate didn't see her at all Sunday night or Monday morning?
No.
Okay.
That's not abnormal.
All right. So she goes to Green Bay Sunday, faxes her stuff in, shacks up with this guy. He moves out Monday. She's helping him move and whatever.
Possible. The weird thing is, though, if she's got a cell phone, it just stops. You know?
Right, but if she's been gone, she might not have a charger.
That's possible. But if you look at her cell phone history here, I mean, it's call.
Okay.
Crazy, and all of a sudden it just stops dead.
Right.
Unless she's intelligent enough to know that, we can track her that way if she really want to be found, that's possible.
Yeah, or the battery just ran out.
Well, that's possible.
She's away from home, no charger, and...
Could be.
But no friends or nobody's had contact with her?
No.
Okay. Well, she might, and it's not that far of a run, from Mishcot area to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she just headed up.
That's possible, but it's just abnormal for her not to have contact with her, some of her family friends or her job, because she's been, very good.
Right, I understand. Well, the one thing I didn't do is run this guy on CCAP.
I just ran a criminal history and stuff on him. He's got a Seymour address, the one he gave me was 71.
Right.
77, I guess.
Right, but I don't know.
I mean, there's nothing criminal. I didn't do a CCAP.
Well, let me do CCAP quick. If you want to wait, I can give you the results here in just a second. Michael J. from 71. We got a traffic.
She knows if that's a friend of hers. We're going to call Mom and just run that name by her again.
Okay, now did you say something about a diary?
And I've got a diary here and stuff, but there's nothing really that we can see as worthwhile in it.
Okay. Where are you anyway? Are you at the department?
We're at the department now.
Okay. I'll keep you posted if I find anything.
Thanks a lot.
All right. You got a hold of Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be checking out there.
All right, let us know, because I think the boys are out at Zippers right now.
Yeah, I just got a call from them. They're not giving me answer at the door, so.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right. Thanks, Mark. Bye.
Nassau County Sheriff, Ann speaking.
Well, Ann, how are you?
Just fine.
Good. Hang on.
Did Coburn and Ramaker and Dietering out of Calumet get in by zipper, do you know?
I think they're there right now.
Yep, they've been there for quite a while. I didn't know if they got into the house or if he ever answered the door.
I don't know. Who is this?
You don't recognize my voice? I'm hurt.
I did, but then it didn't sound like you anymore, so...
Yeah, I was on speakerphone. That's when I picked up the handset. It would be me, Dennis, 209.
Okay.
So.
I don't know if they got in. Bed 432, do you have contact?
Affirmative.
There's your answer.
Great. Thank you, Ann.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's it for that recording, which, I think there's a lot of interesting things in this series of calls of Dennis Jacobson. I'm not going to say he's the key, but I certainly think that there could have been a whole lot more. I think he knew a whole lot more than what we'll ever know.
I agree.
Think about that recording, Jerome, that they allegedly went back to the zippers and got.
Yeah, and why he's putting himself in this case? He's not longer a cop.
Oh, well, yeah, he's a detective, but I mean, he's not. A
detective, yeah, but he's not part of law enforcement. No, I'm wrong.
No, Jacobs is. Oh no, he was a cop.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
I was thinking he was retired from.
Oh no, that was Bushman. He was retired or reserved.
Yeah, my bad. I have made mistake with Mike Bushman.
That's all right. That's okay. So, all right, folks, there you have it. We made it. Let's see. Let me look at my list. I had 20 calls selected, so it's up to you guys, and I'm glad to do this either way. If you want to, I had planned on reading the deposition tomorrow night, but if you would prefer to continue with the calls, I'm just as glad to do that. I think this is a really interesting revisit of old information. So.
Yeah, it is. And to have a discussion like this between us listening this call, is really interesting. And thank you, Jax, to do that. And thank you to all the full play team.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for calling.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, Jerome.
Thank you very much. But it's really late here in Belgium. It's approximately 4 a.m. But
Yeah. We
Oh,
keep
I've
out.
been there, Jerome. I've been there. It's been 5 o'clock in the morning. Has
Yeah,
been that late.
we put Dallas up to bed at sunrise in her area. So we.
Yep.
But in this in my case, I talk for myself. I work for free for sure in in a lot of case. I am a researcher in a lot of case.
Yep.
Not especially in America, everywhere, and not especially from today. I'm working on the Zodiac killer case. I'm working on JFK. I'm working on Jimmy Hoffa. I'm working on a lot of things. So for me, the more important is for the victim and the victim's family, and try to figure out what happened to them, to try to give them a kind of peace for their soul. And
that's why we do it as well, Jerome. We do it to get the justice
and
that
the
wasn't
truth.
served in the first place.
And the truth.
Yeah, and the truth. Yeah, and the truth.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and that's why I'm always on the how can you say that? I'm always on the starting block. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, to talking about this kind of stuff, because I'm really upset about all of this case. You were mentioned early, the Christine Rudy case is the same thing. It's Ricky Oxeckler. It's the same thing. Luke Mitchell in Scotland. It's
Absolutely.
the same thing.
Absolutely.
Scott Davis is the same thing. And I can continue like that an hour. But it's really important what you do, and I don't say that to give you flowers. No. I say that because that's true. It's really important what you do, and I really appreciate to be invited to talk with you about all these things, and that's really interesting, really.
Well, thank you, Jerome.
Thank you very much.
You're always welcome to come and talk to us on the open mic. And today was a special, as I said in the beginning, this was a special edition because Doc and Everly were really busy last week, and they couldn't get a chapter prepared for reading with the crew out of Farrak's book.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, normally this is reading with the crew, but I'll tell you what I'll do. I think that there seemed to be a lot of interest in this. I think what I'll do is, instead of doing a deposition tomorrow, we'll just continue on. I'll get us some more. Well, we'll finish the list that I've got, but I'll prepare some more that will have plenty to continue on down this path. These are just things that I see. That, I mean, I'm not listing. I'm not putting up every call because some of them are irrelevant. But the more interesting ones, and this last one, I think is really interesting.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much there for me.
Yeah. You're right.
The good thing about going back over these calls and everything like that as well, Jack, is that we've got a lot of new viewers and everything like that are watching, or we've had a few in chat, and we've maybe got a few lurkers and things like that who are who's shy and don't want to come on chat. Going through these is putting the information out to them as well, but not only that, it's pointing them to the website where they can go and listen to these, because all these calls is on the Foul Play YouTube channel that they can go and listen themselves as well, so it's always good to sometimes go backwards when nothing's happening going forwards at the moment. So it's always good to go maybe back a few steps and go over a few more things, because you pick up things yourself that you maybe didn't pick up the first few times you've read it or heard it or something,
You are right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll end it here. We've been rolling here for 3 hours and almost 40 minutes, and that's long enough. I know I'm personally getting pretty hungry. I'm sure Jerome and all of our European friends are probably pretty damn tired and ready to go to bed. So let's wrap this.
Not especially because I have already. I have again a little bit of works on the Zodiac Killer case, so I need to work on that.
Oh, so you're kind of like me. You're kind of a night owl. I'm kind of a night owl too. So I understand. So anyway,
we are the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and I'll make the change for the depositions for tomorrow reading. We'll just continue on listening to some of these calls and continue the conversation because I find it extremely interesting.
Okay, and if I'm available, I'm jumping. Jumping.
What I'll do, absolutely. I'll send you a link. That way you'll know what time it's going to start. You can look, at your time frame. It's 5 Central here, and I think that's probably around
7 hours of delay. So
okay.
For me now, it's 4 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, so
so you're just a couple of hours ahead of me, Jerome. So it normally starts for me at 11 o'clock.
So 1 a.m.
Probably be
1 a.m.
Yeah, and it's 2:45 in the morning for me. So it starts at 11 for me. So it'll probably be about 2:45 or something like that
midnight for me.
Yeah.
No, in between Scotland and Belgium, there is 1 hour of delay.
Oh, 1 hour delay. Right. Okay. So it'll be, if it's 11 o'clock for me, so it'll be 12 o'clock for you. Yeah.
No, if it's 9 for you, it's 10 for me.
Yeah, but no, it's at 11 p.m. for me, so it'll be 12
It's midnight
a.m.
for me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, if I'm around, I jump in.
Absolutely, we'd love to have you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
All right,
No problem.
I'd like to thank everybody in that's joined us at the live chat. Hopefully, you found something interesting in these calls, and we'll continue on. And as any last words from anyone before I get us out of here, Alice? Anything?
Just thank you to everyone on congratulating me on being going to be a granny. My son and his girlfriend are having their first child, and it's due in September, so we're all really excited. And it's great to be able to share news with you all. So, thank you everyone in chat. Do the YouTubey things, share, like, subscribe, and thank you for joining us.
There you go. Anyone else?
Yeah, just me in loving memory of Eric Ozzy. I just want to quote him. Guys, if you don't have one already, please subscribe, and I see you.
There you go. Thank you very much. All righty. We thank you guys, and we're going to get out of here, and we'll call it a night. And with that said, this has been a Foul Play production.